Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joe Moran and I'm here with Riv and Andrew Velez, and this is now episode 97. The finals are set and we're ready to give our predictions on them. Suns-Bucks is one of the more unlikely finals matchups we thought would happen, but that doesn't mean it won't be great. Injuries played a part in this matchup happening. Is there an asterisk to whoever wins? We debate that along with if Kawhi Leonard should stay with the Clippers and how bright the Hawks' future is. Then we shift to the NFL and talk about the best available free agents left, if Mike Williams will have a breakout season for the Chargers, and N'Keal Harry / Patriots drama, and we react to PFF's top 10 rosters list. I thought that intro was pretty strong.
You killed it, bro.
I thought it was pretty strong. I'm making a switch to how I write these intros. I'm scripting it up now.
I like
and
it.
Before we start the podcast, I just want to give a shout out to anybody who's rated and reviewed the podcast on Apple Podcasts. We have 33 ratings, I believe, and I just want to read a couple of them that we got over the course of Thursday to now. Kyle Godley, April 13, 2021, which was a while ago, said, I found this podcast a couple weeks ago, and they are extremely in-depth with their evaluations. Reminds me of when Through the Wire podcast and when they were first coming up. Well, that's some high praise. Through the Wire is an awesome podcast. Maybe one day we can collab. King of the fourth quarter, Kenny. Love what they're doing over there. May 7th, 2021, Zeke Powers said, Joel is a great host, and the other guys are good too. Joel is good at keeping the conversation on topic and interesting. Thanks.
May 7th, were you even here?
No,
he wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for the ego boost, Zeke. I appreciate it.
anything post-June.
That definitely enhanced my ego a little bit. On Wednesday, Salvador JV07 said, really good sports podcast. I usually agree with at least one person's point of view. They have a nice combination of analytical and subjective commentary. They have some moments of levity and comedy. Also, the tangents tend to be pretty good. Would be nice if they were a bit longer, but overall great. So, Salvador wants us to get off topic more often, which is not a problem for Riv to do. He does that quite a lot. I wonder who he agrees with.
Me
he
too.
said he agrees with one
with
of
at least
us
one
three every podcast.
I think it's 100% me.
I think it's 70, 10, and because you're new, like 20.
Hey, that 20's pretty high compared
Wait
to
a
your
minute.
10.
Yeah, wait, what?
Bro said 70.
So,
it's not my show.
Wednesday, Jordy 1902 said, if you're looking for a non-biased sports talk, this is the podcast for you. These guys meticulously break down the hottest topics around the NBA and NFL, and they never cease to amaze me with their insight.
Meticulously.
Check these guys out.
Whoa.
Never cease to amaze.
That was
Yeah,
tough.
awesome.
Tough
That was
wordplay,
awesome.
What's this
yeah.
guy's name?
His name is Jordy 1902.
Shout out to
Shout out
Jordy.
You know,
Jordy, man.
I'm actually glad that Riv is not the one reading these reviews. We have some big words here. Meticulously.
Oh, no.
We also have levity here. Analytical. Is that a pretty big word? That is a pretty big word.
You know we went to the same high school, right? So we like have the same education.
Okay, so then this last review we got is from Shaq Nasty 99.
Okay.
But Shaq spelled like a shack, like a cabin shack, not Shaquille O'Neal Shaq.
Oh, that'd have been dope.
Awesome podcast. Need them to get into the basketball card community with a praising hands. Or not the praising hands, but
What does
the
that
hands
mean?
up
Like
there.
he wants us to start
Talking
collecting?
about basketball cards, I guess, maybe collecting.
Okay.
I actually own some football cards. I own a Joe Burrow LSU card and a Chase Young Ohio State card and some other football players. I don't think the cards are worth anything.
Yours, you're saying?
Yeah. But I've been wanting to get into card collecting for a minute, but it's actually an expensive hobby.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
You pour water in a cup and just put lemon in it?
It's very popular.
No, I'm just asking if you did it.
This was
Very
iced tea.
popular.
This was iced tea at first. I did do it.
Oh, okay.
This was iced tea at first. It had lemons in it. I ran out of the iced tea, so I put water in it.
Nice.
Water with lemon is actually really good for you.
Really?
No, it is. Yeah.
It's good for detoxing your body.
Nice.
For the card collection, though, you know, like one box could cost you like $100.
Yeah. Well,
that's
card collecting actually, you know, Target and Walmart, they sell packs of these basketball cards, and
it's every Friday. Do you know that? Every Friday and every Friday they sell out.
People camp out to buy these cards as soon as the stores open.
Man.
Because if you pull a good card in these packs, it can literally be worth hundreds of dollars, and the packs are not very expensive.
Yep.
That's
like
lit.
a Zion card, the right one, which are like the prisms. I've seen like most of the cards that are worth something are the prisms and rookie cards. If you buy those cards, you like, let's say you get a Zion, you can sell that for like $1,000.
My sister actually got a LaMelo.
LaMelo?
Yeah, LaMelo one.
Rookie card?
Yes.
She collects cards?
So her boyfriend does, and it was her birthday, so he bought her a pack, and she had Gobert, she had LaMelo.
Girl had to go bare.
Yeah, nah, she
$10
didn't care about
card.
Gobert.
He's probably not worth anything.
No, but LaMelo, she said it was like 4 or 5.
That's tough.
Yeah,
$500 just for a little card.
And then, you know, Top Shot? My brother actually got LaMelo's rookie card where he had his first triple-double. I forget what type of rookie pack it was. I think it was some rookie showcase pack that they got. 5,000.
Is your brother a Denver Broncos fan?
5,000. No, he's a Patriots fan.
See, NFTs to me is a little bit tricky. I don't know if I want to invest in NFTs because I think I'm still in that old school mindset of why would I pay for highlights, basically.
Fair enough.
It has a market,
especially because of YouTube. It's like, I don't know how exactly I own this per se. Maybe I don't know enough, you know what I mean? But it's like I could Google whatever moment you have that's worth, let's say that LeBron dunk that he had. I think it sold for $250K on the Kings, some Kings player. I think it was Bejlica. $250K that went for. I could Google that right now for $0. So it's like, why is it valued that high?
You know what's funny? Imagine if the podcast gets big enough and there's a highlight of just one of us laughing, and that becomes like an NFT.
That'd be lit.
Like owning a clip
I won Best Laugh in high school,
laughing.
so maybe. Hey, there you go too.
But yeah, NFTs are a little bit weird to me, but at the end of the day, people dictate value.
Yep.
And the way the world is going right now, it seems like everything is going into the digital space. You even see the start of it now with VRs, virtual reality.
Facts.
People are probably not going to they're not going to keep on going to stores to buy the physical cards anymore. If we can make a case that the physical cards are just as useless as the NFTs and buying it online digitally, because what are you going to do with the physical card? You're going to collect it. It's going to be there, but it's just going to be for show.
Yep.
That's the same thing as a digital collection. And I saw that there's actually a guy, I don't know where I saw it, but a guy literally had an NFT and he had it framed and he had it hung up on his wall.
And it plays.
And the highlight plays on a frame.
That's fire.
That's cool as hell.
That's
so
mad fire.
if you can do something like that where you own it and then you could then frame it and then put it, I think now we're talking about major value.
I'm with that there. Nah,
major.
that is
and
tough.
that is very possible to do. It is very possible to do. But what would it be? It would be like a nonstop going iPad or
something like that. You got to like charge it or something.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I could think of.
You at McDonald's?
I ate McDonald's the other day, yeah. My go-to is the McChicken with the McNuggets. Also the pineapple smoothie.
You got to get the new crispy chicken sandwich, the spicy chicken sandwich.
Oh, I got that. It's pretty good.
It is gas.
Have you tried the Burger King chicken sandwich?
No.
It's pretty good too.
I quit fast food, unfortunately.
So when did you try the chicken sandwich from McDonald's?
When it first came out.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, how long ago was
Sounds
that?
like Captain Man.
I think it was actually after the first time I was on the show. Believe it or not, that's crazy that I remember that. But yeah, the first time I was on, crispy chicken sandwich. For the fans, go back and tell me the date.
Sounds like
Captain Man. This water is good for detox. Lemon with water is good for detox. That's something Shachara Richardson probably should have.
I need to detox my body. I got a lot of bad stuff in it.
Oh, yeah?
Like sugars and fast foods and stuff. So I got to start detoxing.
All right.
Yeah.
A lot of water, bro.
I've actually been drinking a lot of water lately, but I keep damaging the water with eating too much sugar and like eating too much fast food. So.
I have this thing in my mind where if I eat like utter trash, if I just flood my system with water, it like cancels out.
Yeah, I have this thing where I like
it's cap, obviously.
if I see like a bottle of soda in like the fridge and I see a bottle of water, I'm easily gonna grab the bottle of soda and just like live with the results.
What's
later.
your go-to soda?
Grape soda, duh.
Grape soda. Okay.
I know what you're gonna say.
Listen, whoa, what do you think I'm gonna say?
But I'm not gonna say it out loud. But I know what you're gonna say.
Listen, I would never a day in my life.
But yeah, that's my go-to. Grape.
Now, grape soda is gas.
It's not grape than pineapple.
That's interesting. Pineapple soda?
Yeah. Pineapple.
What do you have, like the CNC from like Geo's or something?
No. What do you think? I'm poor?
I'm just saying.
CNCs
that's the only thing I can think
probably the
of.
worst soda you can
Yeah,
get.
Yeah,
like,
by far.
So
I'll get like Welch.
That's what comes
Like
to my mind when I think of
50 cents.
pineapple soda.
Or like
50 cent
Crush.
sodas.
Welch or Crush.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crush has good soda, you're right.
Crush is good. Like the red ones.
You know what slept on? Dr. Pepper.
Slept on.
It's
I'm
nasty. You like Dr. Pepper
Dr.
too?
Pepper is great.
I hate Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. I hate all that.
You know, there was a story.
That is wild to say.
There was a story 8 years ago.
But you like, I'm sorry, bro. You like Pineapple Crush. But you don't. Nah, that's wild.
There was a story 8 years ago. Maybe it was 8 years ago. I'm not sure. But I remember seeing it on Twitter when I was in high school, or just entering it, about an old lady who is 102 years old.
God damn.
That drinks a can of Dr. Pepper every day, and she attributes Dr. Pepper to why she has lived that long. She's probably dead now because she was 102 at the time, and it's many years has passed. But Dr. Pepper kept her alive for 102 years.
Doesn't that Chad Ochocinco do that when he doesn't eat good food and he eats just McDonald's, and that's why he's like
he says fit? It on the podcast. I'm blanking on that name right now. Help me out. Podcast with Ocho.
Brandon Marshall.
I am athlete. Yeah. I am athlete. He says it to every athlete that comes on. Cam Newton was on. Joe Burrow was on.
Yeah,
he's like, listen.
Joe Burrow was on?
Was it Joe Burrow?
I don't think he was.
Justin Jefferson and DK was on.
No, it was definitely. No, it was Joe Burrow. He had an interaction with him. I don't know if he was on the show. He had an interaction with him. It might have been on Twitter. But he says, yo, come to my crib. Got you on this diet. We work out 2 a days. But then after, we got breakfast, McDonald's. Hit you with we got the McGriddle. We need that.
McGriddle's goated.
McGriddle is
pancakes
fire.
And that. McDonald's breakfast is OD. It's just
it's
crazy.
That's what he said. He says McDonald's breakfast is why he goes there all the time.
I can never forgive McDonald's for taking out the snack wraps though.
I was never a fan of them.
Yeah, I remember the Cinnabons.
I don't.
The cinnamon melts.
Wait, from McDonald's they had Cinnabons?
No, they had cinnamon melts. It was so good and so it was like love in your mouth.
I just found out why McDonald's took away the snack wraps.
Why?
Though, because they held up the line. It took a while because they had to chop up. They had to chop up the cheese, because they chopped up lettuce, cheese. They had to chop that up into bits, and they had the tortilla to wrap the chicken in it. It took a lot of time, or more than normally. Like a sandwich they can make in 10 seconds.
Literally.
And it's good.
God forbid they actually take their time on what they're doing.
It's funny because
right?
Chick-fil-A doesn't care if the line is backed up.
That's why they're in the Hall of Fame.
But snack wraps, that's why they took it away, so they can make lines go faster in the drive-thru. That's why they took it away.
It makes a little more sense to me, but at the same time,
it was so good.
That's suspect.
Snack wraps, they were my go-to. I would get that.
I never had one, truthfully.
They were so amazing.
They
still
really
sell them
good.
in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I gotta go to Canada to get a snack wrap. I'm about to go.
Like Canada.
I'm gonna go to Niagara Falls, visit there, chill.
Canada would have
wraps.
that. Canada sounds mad.
You want to hear something a little messed up? My go-to right now for McDonald's, because I'm doing this diet.
It's a McDouble.
McDouble. Wow, yes. McDouble.
Don't you? Because you said you want to hear disgusting. McDouble.
Ouch. That's a little right. But you take the bun off. I say no ketchup. And then I pour buffalo sauce on it, and I just
you go extreme.
Yeah,
and you keep the pickles on it, don't you?
Extra pickles. You need
Bunless
it.
sounds so extra. Just go get a burrito bowl from Chipotle.
Well, that too, but it's like $5 at McDonald's, $15 because I'm getting double meat. You know what I'm saying? Double steak. You gotta live with those.
Whoa. Nah, hot take. I hate Chick-fil-A. It's actually really nasty.
Chick-fil-A or Chipotle?
Both.
Chick-fil-A's mac and cheese is
so wait. Chick-fil-A, Chipotle,
I don't like
Dr.
Popeyes.
Pepper, Coke. You don't like. You've never heard of a Crunch Bar or what? A Twix, excuse me.
It was Twix. I don't like Popeyes either.
Are you good?
I don't like Wendy's that much either.
Are you good?
Yeah.
So what's your spots?
I would order
McDonald's and Chinese food.
Chinese food's valid. McDonald's is also valid.
Burger King too.
Rank them: McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King.
McDonald's.
Let me hear Burger King not last, please.
McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's.
Oh my god, yo,
easily.
You're going
McDonald's,
to hell.
Gap. It's like 3 gaps. Then it's Burger King. Then it's Wendy's.
Well, I think Burger King does have the best fries.
That is
over McDonald's?
That's incorrect as could be.
I do because they're thick.
They
are thick.
They used to have the best fries.
McDonald's
they did something
fries
to them.
So salty,
and now they're trash.
Crazy.
Wendy's has the worst fries.
Wendy's fries
they have
are terrible.
the worst
Easily.
fries. Their fries are dry as hell.
Dry and garbage.
The new cut fries, y'all are asleep. Y'all are asleep.
Oh man, I don't.
Bro, McDonald's might have it, but Wendy's has done
Burger King
something.
is seriously underrated.
No, they screwed themselves.
Wait,
They've been
what?
trashed for years. Burger King.
Burger King is underrated.
They changed the fries. It's a shame that they upcharge for onion rings because
they made 10-piece McNuggets $2.
They suck.
No, their 10-piece was 59 cents.
It's really bad though.
Like,
I'll take a bacon Whopper over anything.
If a 10-piece nugget costs you 59 cents, You should never buy it.
I'll take a Whopper over anything at Wendy's, though. A Whopper is crazy.
Wendy's chicken nuggets are firm. They're the best.
No, they're not better than McDonald's.
McDonald's fell off. McDonald's nuggets fell off,
There's a survey.
I'm not looking it up.
They do the top 10 nuggets in America in fast food.
Who was number one?
Wendy's.
Wow.
McDonald's was 2?
Yes.
Firm. That's respectable.
Yes.
What was 3?
I think Chick-fil-A.
I'm done. Chick-fil-A is so bad, bro.
Burger King was not even in the top 5.
Burger King, they're not.
Because their chicken nuggets are
They're known for burgers.
They're Burger King.
Yeah.
True.
Burger King.
True.
You know what's slept on, though, for real? Habit.
Habit
Burgers.
is tough.
Habit Burger
really
is
good.
cash. They have this boom sauce.
Five Guys is actually really slept on.
I think that's the most popular burger place, in my opinion.
We're talking about fries. Their Cajun fries are better. Five Guys.
I hate their fries.
You ever tried their Cajun fries?
No.
Their Cajun fries those are the best ones.
I prefer smash burgers.
Popeye,
but I like
really?
Five Guys.
Okay.
Though.
Popeyes has good Cajun fries too.
Popeyes is really disgusting.
It makes me feel disgusting. Like every time I have to take it.
Everything is dry.
A mean one, but other than that, Popeyes hits. It hits. Last time I actually broke keto, I had a crispy chicken sandwich.
You're on keto diet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had
What's a keto diet?
You only eat meat.
It's
you
fats.
cut out carbs.
It's fats and proteins. It's not cool.
Is it like for fat people? Like, I don't mean to be rude.
Usually fat people do partake in it.
Like if I do something like that, would it help me?
Because you just got to think, bro. You cut in the order. It's carbs, fats, proteins. So if you're not eating carbs, the next thing you're cutting, fat. So there you go.
So would it make me like skinny?
Yeah. You don't. This dead last thing you need.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Oh, wait, what are you trying to say?
That you don't need to lose weight, sir. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, okay. I feel you, gangster.
Yep.
No keto.
Have you guys ever tried Taco Bell's nacho fries?
I don't eat tacos.
Have you ever tried Taco Bell?
No.
Their nacho fries, I'd actually put, if we're talking about strictly fast food,
okay,
because Five Guys is like in between. I think Five Guys is fast food, but we're talking about like Taco Bell, Wendy's.
So like the real fast food.
Anything with a drive-through. So Five Guys technically doesn't.
Yeah, nacho fries, I would put them up there with any single
nacho fries.
Really?
I think they're the best
fries. That fire?
From Taco Bell.
And they took them off the menu, didn't they?
Yeah, because it's like a seasonal thing. But nacho fries, it's literally, think about a Burger King thick fry, but think about like a seasoning over it that has a
Dorito Loco, something like that.
It's like I would say Cajun kind of seasoning.
Okay.
It's not really spicy, and it comes with a dip, and the dip is cheese.
It's like seasonal? That sucks.
Yeah, they had this nacho fries box. It came with the nacho fries, came with a taco, and it came with a burrito.
Nah, it sounds
a taco and a burrito. You sound like you had this shit like, the whole night. Like, I'm gonna get in tune with that because I heard tacos is really good. I just never really ate it.
Taco Bell
is fire.
It's really cheap too. Like the box with the fries, the burrito, the taco, and it comes with a drink too.
What do Taco Bell fries taste like?
I've never had them.
Well, they don't have them. They only have them seasonally. The taco fries are the nacho fries are their fries, and they're really good. But that box costs $5.
Really?
Yeah.
The one box they got rid of that Taco Bell, if you're listening, get it back. It was cheese. Yes, they are. Trust me.
They have a seasonal thing, bro, where they have like a value menu box that's $5 that constantly changes. Like right now, I think it's this naked chicken chalupa.
That I saw, but it's overrated.
It's literally the shell
is chicken
of the top of the chalupa is chicken. It's literally a chicken nugget. It's literally a chicken nugget shell stuffed with cheese and lettuce.
You see their commercial about it? It's like people they're making fun of all these people doing all the new chicken sandwiches. Right. It's like pickle lettuce bun or regardless, they're just going different orders. But Taco Bell is just eating their taco chicken sandwich, which was a pretty good idea. But they got rid of the cheesy gordita crunch box. It's a cheesy gordita crunch, 2 tacos.
I told you, bro. They have seasonal menus.
The cheesy gordita crunch is the best thing on the menu.
Because they would have that box, but then like 2 months from that, they would have the nacho fries box. Then 2 months from that, they would have the chicken chalupa box. Then they would have like a regular chalupa box.
Have you ever had a gordita?
I think I have.
You know what a gordita is.
I'm sorry, guys, but your versatility in foods is really killing me.
Listen, you got to be well versed in everything.
I'm not
bro.
really. I'm gonna tune in to Taco Bell.
You should.
I got to tune in.
This is what you
got to
get. It's
don't
hard.
tell me what to get.
This is what you got to get. Trust me.
If it's seasonal, how I'm gonna know to get it?
It's not seasonal. Gorditas, you can go right now and get 18 if you wanted. If you really wanted. All right. So it's a soft taco. Inside, it's a hard taco. But in between the hard and the soft is cheese. And then in the hard, Also, in between the middle is ranch. I always say no ranch. It makes it too strong for me personally.
And what's underneath? What's inside the soft and
the hard? No, in between the soft and the hard is cheese. In between and in the hard is meat, lettuce, cheese.
What type of meat?
Regular taco.
What do they use though?
Cheesy. It's a cheesy gordita crunch. It's a soft taco with cheesy gordita crunch.
But the meat is beef.
Oh yeah.
This guy Rivers laughing.
No, he's crude.
I'm sorry, bro.
Bro's crude.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad.
It's all right.
It's just like you guys are just going back and forth.
Bro, you need to hit up Taco Bell.
I got
you. We've been talking about this for 20 minutes now.
Listen, this guy wanted it. Whatever he wanted this.
He wanted more tangents, but now let's actually get on to the show.
Let's do it.
This is why we host, folks. This is why we get into the topics. Because we go on tangents talking about nothing.
Facts.
But thankfully for the audience, we will, this is time stamped, so they'll know.
You can skip this.
Or if you're real, you listen to us talk garbage. Who cares?
Yeah, the last podcast episode got 150 downloads. Shout out to all of you guys.
For real, man. And
the full episode on YouTube got 1.3K views, so that's amazing. That's a career high for us. So that's really amazing. And we have updated this studio. As you can see to my left right here, we have two posters. One of them is a Nets poster that my cousin got when he went to the last Nets game in New Jersey, but he gave it to me. And right next to it is a Michael Jordan poster looking at every single player he beat in the 90s and dominated in the 90s/80s. So if you zoom in, you can see the players that are on it. An artist on Twitter made that. It was an exceptional poster.
Yeah, this is our sophomore year, breakout year.
Yeah, it is our sophomore year.
I was going to say,
sophomore
first year passed already?
Actually, it hasn't.
I was going to say, I remember you telling me it was like 11 months, something like that.
Yeah, it's actually like probably we're at exactly the first year. We
say,
didn't start being consistent until like May of last year.
And the 100th episode's coming up, right?
Our third year, we're going for the MVP.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
D-Rose,
we have a guest.
All-star.
Was it?
Third year? All-star.
Okay.
All-star.
We have a guest next episode, which is going to be phenomenal for you guys. If you guys know Chilltown32 on TikTok.
Tell your pops to tune in. It's old school, all that.
Yeah, we're going to have him on the show. I think it's going to be a great conversation. We're going to talk about a lot of old school stuff, new school stuff, greatest teams, something like that. I'll talk about it more at the end of the episode, but let's talk about this right now.
Let's do it.
The Suns versus Bucks are in the finals, and I think this is the one of the more unlikeliest finals matchups we thought would happen. This is the finals matchup that happens when you sim My League in 2K and you just land on the Suns versus Bucks. And in the regular season, the Suns beat the Bucks 2 times. They only faced twice, so they're 2-0 against them. February 10th, 125-124 Suns. Giannis had 47, 11, and 5, but Jrue Holiday didn't play. Booker had 30, CP had 28. Then April 19th, their latest matchup, 128-127 in OT. Suns won. Jrue Holiday did play. Bucks' big three of Holiday, Middleton, and Giannis all had 20+. Giannis had 30. CP had 22 and 13. Booker had 24. Ayan had 20. Mikal had 21.
Sound like some great games.
Do you know Booker's shooting stats?
I do not know their shooting splits, but Suns beat them 2-0 in the regular season matchups, even though they were very close games. In total, they were decided by 2 points in all. Give me your preview on this series and give me your prediction for who do you think is going to win. I will start off with Riv because he's the basketball mastermind on this panel. He's the guy that goes through the ins and outs, the in-depth, the X's and O's.
We got this little order going on. We know after Joel.
Yeah, the order is Riv, Drew, and
that's
me.
How it goes.
That's why whenever Riv is surprised that I look to him first to say something, I don't know why he's surprised. This has been going for 90 episodes now.
Yeah, I don't know. I just be bugging out. But Suns Bucks, man, I got the Bucks, and the only reason my answer is really predicated on how healthy Giannis is going to be. Obviously, if he's good to go, I don't expect him to play game 1. I expect him to be ready for game 2 or game 3. But I think the Bucks can still steal a win in Phoenix without Giannis. But like I said, my Bucks take is predicated on Giannis being healthy. If Giannis is healthy, I have the Bucks, and I think Giannis being out kind of like was the shot in the arm the Bucks needed, because Giannis being out gave us that Jrue Holiday aggression. And when Jrue Holiday is aggressive, you can see he's a different type of player. He's more, he's attacking on the offensive end. He's become more of a scorer. He's playmaking. And then he starts to get in that scoring motion. and starting to hit jump shots, starting to take to the basket. We've seen in Game 6 in Atlanta, he was doing things I don't think we've seen in a while. Up and under layups, and ones, splitting the double team. So it was really, honestly, amazing to see. But we've seen when Giannis is out, we've seen Drew and Chris kind of turn it up on the offensive end. And I feel like if Giannis gets back, I feel like they're going to keep that drive going. Now, defensively, I like the matchups. Drew Holiday on whoever. They got P.J. Tucker for defense. I think he should probably guard Chris Paul because Chris Paul doesn't have that speed like he has before. I think Booker is a little too fast. I think, you keep Drew on him.
I agree.
But I think P.J. Tucker is going to do fine on Chris Paul. And we just seen him, aside from that Game 6, he had a pretty bad series against the Clippers. On the Suns end, they got some guys that can shoot the three ball. I think they have the pieces to kind of build the mini wall. Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder. They got Big Ayton down low, so that's a good thing. Chris Paul and Devin Booker, their backcourt. If they play well, this team wins. They have two playmakers. Cameron Payne, he's a guy who could come in the game and change the pace, run it fast. Chris Paul, he breaks it down more methodically. Mm-hmm. But I like this matchup. I think this is going to be a great series. I think these two teams are fun and exciting, and bearing everything else, I think this is incredible. But I do have the Bucks. I think Giannis is just so dominant. I think he's going to come in and change the pace. I don't think he's going to have what it takes to really keep up with Giannis on the offensive end. So I think I got the Bucks in 6 games.
Offensive or defensive end?
Offensive.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even want to give it a game. I'm just going to say Bucks. So I got the Bucks winning.
Okay. That's pretty vague, but I guess I'll let you rock.
I don't want to do that.
What game do you think Giannis comes back? Not that you're a doctor, but
I actually am a doctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I apologize.
Yeah. Game 3.
Game 3. Okay. Even though he's game time today.
I don't want him to play today.
Okay. Why not?
Your prediction is ridiculous if you think Giannis is coming back in Game 3.
Well, I said, literally in my whole monologue, I guess people weren't listening to me, but I said Game 2, he'll probably be back.
I apologize.
He wasn't listening. I don't want him to come back
Game
today.
3, though, just now.
Yeah, just now. I think Game 3, he'll be fully healthy, but they'll probably bring him back Game 2.
I feel like if they win this game, they don't rush him back Game 2. Let's say Giannis doesn't play. They win this one. I don't think they rush him back Game 2.
100%.
Yeah, but this is going to be a really good series. But after watching the Suns play against the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard, a.k.a. the Clippers' best player, and them still having somewhat of a fit playing against a team led by Paul George for sure. Reggie Jackson played pretty spectacular other than Game 6. Marcus Morris had a really good series also. But it's a series that, in my opinion, they should have handled with more ease than they did. Clippers, you look at it from the other side, you could debate that the Clippers should have been up 3-2. But, ball rolled the other way. Suns ended up getting their W. But now if I'm looking at it from this perspective now, again, you have a Milwaukee team who their best player right now is injured. But Milwaukee has also had success without Giannis. They had to play 2 games without Giannis playing. Chris Middleton played well in both of those games. Game 6, Chris Middleton was the closer that Joel was saying that he was not. But Chris Middleton had an excellent series, and I look for Chris Middleton to keep that going, especially without Giannis in Game 1. They're going to need Chris Middleton to be that true scorer with or without Giannis, because the Suns have too many playmakers on both sides of the court that if it's a Giannis solo show, they're going to get smoked. But I don't see that happening. I feel like with the addition of Drew Holiday, release some pressure on Chris Middleton, and we're seeing Chris Middleton definitely take to form this postseason. But I feel like the most impact player other than Giannis whenever he comes back, I think he'll be back Game 2. I would like to see him come play Game 1 because obviously you want the two teams 100% going against one another. But I feel like the impact player in this series is going to be Drew Holiday. Now, in the offseason, you had this monster trade where Drew Holiday was traded for a plethora of picks, and this was supposed to be the guy that got him over the hump. Now, defensively, that was supposed to be the core of his game. And up until this point, I don't feel as if he has played as well as people have perceived his defense to be in the past. Now, you look at Kyrie Irving, he gave him fits. You look at Trae Young, he absolutely cooked him. Even on a messed up ankle, Trae Young didn't have the best game, but prior to that, Trae Young was doing his thing on Drew Holiday. You need Drew Holiday in this series although Giannis is out, they're going to need Drew Holiday to pick up his offensive numbers. You need him to be that defensive anchor, especially on Devin Booker. So with that being said, I feel as if Milwaukee has, even with Giannis out, I just feel like the better team overall. No discredit to the Suns. I've been solid with the Suns all season. I love Ayton. Devin Booker is one of my favorite players. CP3, shout out to him for his first finals appearance. I just don't think that they are going to be able to stop Giannis, especially if they have Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday on. So I'm going to go with Bucks. I want to say if Giannis misses game 1, this is going 7. If Giannis plays, I think this goes 6. I'm not going to count the Suns out, but I'm leaning Bucks heavily. Didn't want to have to do this to you.
I just want to let you know you're hold on before you start. I just want, because I just thought of this when he brought up Chris Middleton. That take you said when LeVert and Middleton were on the same level, yeah, that's dead.
That's the only reason I brought it up.
Yeah, you got to dead that. That was terrible.
That's not a bad take.
No, that was.
I stand by it still.
Your Bucks takes.
Your Bucks tape has been.
I've heard better takes out of you.
This is why the Phoenix Suns will beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals.
Not just beat, right?
They will embarrass. They will destroy. They will eliminate them. This is why they're going to beat them. And first, I want to talk about the Phoenix Suns because this entire season, they've gotten the short end of the stick. Coming into this year, they have gotten the short end of the stick. In the offseason, there were question marks on how far can Chris Paul lead the Suns. People thought they were a borderline 8-seeded team, even with Chris Paul. I even posted a Suns clip on Suns Reddit, and they said, I would be happy if we're the 4th seed or 5th. That's our ceiling, I think. From the offseason, I said, the Suns' ceiling is a 3rd seed in the West. They can be that great with Chris Paul. They exceeded my own expectations. In the playoffs, everybody talks about AD getting injured. Yes, that was a big deal. Did we forget Chris Paul injured his shoulder? He wasn't 100% for that series. And the Suns' young Bucks and Devin Booker multiple times came back from double-digit leads against the Lakers and ended up beating them. Then the final 2 games, they destroyed them. They wiped them off the floor. LeBron quit because the Suns were too much to handle. They were too hot to handle. In the second round, they swept the Denver Nuggets. Everybody loves to bash the Nuggets and say that wasn't competition. That was a team that beat the Blazers in 6. A Blazers team that I thought was good. They were a good team. They were not a bad team. They beat them in 6. But when the Suns sweep them, that was a cakewalk matchup. No, it wasn't. Chris Paul was just that amazing. Devin Booker was just that amazing. Ayton was just that amazing. Yep. Their whole team. Then in the WCF, that's the only series that raised question marks to me in terms of how good can they really be. But the Bucks don't have a player as good as Paul George. Kawhi being out actually let us see Paul George, PG-13, Indiana Paul George. It brought that Paul George out of him. Chris Middleton is nowhere near Paul George's level. And
what about Giannis?
Well,
I think he's talking about from a skills
perspective. I mean, we're talking. Well,
I'm sorry.
Giannis is better than Paul George, but we're talking about if the Bucks play the Suns without Giannis in Game 1.
Correct.
There is no chance the Bucks win. The Suns are going to sweep the floor with them.
Correct.
And that's probably going to be tonight. That's the only series you can question the Suns' merit on. But I think not only is Tyronn Lue a better coach than Budenholzer, I think the Clippers had better personnel, better players on defense to do that, to switch on defense. Budenholzer's not going to take out Lopez. He's already proven that to us. He's going to leave us in. He's going to leave him in there. Lopez in drop coverage versus CP3. Drew Holiday is a great defender, but I disagree with your point about Trae Young cooking him. He didn't cook Drew. Drew was getting screened, and that's the reality of it. The same thing's going to happen versus Phoenix. Drew is going to get screened. Chris Paul, mid-range, is going to hit that shot. You look at all the statistics in transition. When the Suns or Bucks play fast, the Suns statistically are a better team. In half-court sets, the Suns are a better team statistically. The Suns shoot 37% from the three-point line. The Bucks are at 31%. From the free throw line, Suns shoot 86%. Bucks are at 71%. And this is the first team all playoffs outside of Miami, who is an awful offensive team, and Jimmy Butler got shut down, that has a personnel that can build the wall on Giannis. They have 3 great perimeter defenders in Mikal, Jay Crowder, and Torrey Craig. They have that back line of defense in DeAndre Ayton. They have the personnel to make it really tough on Giannis, and playing on a hyperextended knee is no joke. It's going to be tough for Giannis to play, especially how he plays. It's going to be tough on a hyperextended knee. I have the Suns in 5. And if Giannis is healthier than I think he is, I think it goes 6, maybe 7. Fully healthy, I think this series would have went to 7. Because Giannis is battling with this injury, I say 6 most, but I'm picking the Suns in 5. Chris Paul is going to get that championship. Devin Booker, first playoff run, is going to get that championship. And everything just points to the Suns. I know they have been criticized for their run to the finals, but let's not act like Chris Paul didn't injure his shoulder in the first round.
Yep.
Let's not act like Chris Paul didn't catch COVID in the Western Conference Finals, and that's why it hindered his performance in the WCF. He caught COVID.
Yeah.
Something that literally stopped the world for an entire year, and Chris Paul managed to drop 40 points in Game 6. COVID is not something that's just a little thing. It's serious, and he came back from that. The Suns have had their adversity. They have played through it. They have gone through every single obstacle, and the Bucks are just another obstacle that they're gonna go by. They're gonna rip the horns off the reindeer's head. Okay. In the finals, the Phoenix Suns. They're going to burn them off. They're too hot right now. Phoenix Suns will win.
Couple things.
I was going to let you go. Figured.
Well, he came at your Lakers first, so I thought you had the medicine for that one.
The fact that he was trying to say, you mentioned something along the lines like we blew leads. It was 2-1. We were in the driver's seat for sure.
Anthony Davis goes down.
Anthony Davis goes out. That's the series.
There were multiple times in that Lakers series that the Lakers were up 10+ points, even without AD.
Game 6 they were never up.
Game
6, yeah, you're right.
Game LeBron hit him with the back on Jay Crowder.
Game 5.
We were playing around too much. They ended up coming back on us.
So it's playing around now.
It's
playing around.
You were playing around with the Suns. We won that game, did we not?
But I'm saying every single
time.
That's
my point.
Every single time with the Lakers healthy, LeBron and AD.
We dominated.
No, you didn't dominate.
You
didn't dominate because you lost game 1. You lost game 1. You didn't dominate.
And we lost game 1 against the Blazers. We lost game 1 against the Rockets. We lost game 1.
But you didn't dominate the Suns.
Nuggets,
even when
LeBron
and AD were there, you didn't dominate the Suns. The Suns.
Game 2 and game 3, we didn't dominate.
You didn't dominate.
That's cap.
No, they did. No,
game 3 was definitely domination.
Bro, it was
in LA. The first game in LA.
It was easy.
Yeah, that was bad.
Easy.
Every single time the Lakers.
And LeBron had played
every
2
single
games
time
prior
the Lakers
to that.
got up, the Suns, and I was impressed by this. Every single time the Lakers got up, I said, "Oh, this game is over." I kept saying the Suns fight back, being resilient, the resilient teams they are. They kept doing that and doing that and doing that. I was impressed. I was like, "Wow, this Suns team they're not the Blazers. They're not the team. They're not last year's Houston Rockets. Last year's Houston Rockets was a mess of a team."
And Denver?
They're not Denver either. They're better than Denver.
And Denver upset the Clippers last year.
You even tweeted this, that you said even if Jamal Murray was playing, you think Phoenix would have won still.
Swept?
Probably you probably give Denver 2 games.
Yeah, 1 or 2 games. But I don't think Jamal changes the trajectory of that series.
The mindset going into that series without Jamal is, all right, Jokic is the guy we have to defend. It's clear as day.
I just think the Phoenix was just too much better than Denver.
Listen, do I think Phoenix wins that series even with Jamal? Yes. Do I think it's a sweep? No way.
No, I didn't say sweep, but I didn't think he changes the trajectory of the series. I think Phoenix was going to win that one regardless.
I mean,
Let's just stop acting like the Suns had a cakewalk because they dealt with adversity as well.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that.
Specifically Chris Paul.
But even still.
And Devin Booker with his nose.
They
have had a lot of adversity. Let's stop acting like they haven't.
I'm gonna get to that next segment.
Because the Clippers should have beat them.
No, they shouldn't.
No, they should have beat them. Fully healthy. That's not even a question. The fact that they had so many games even close.
I mean, I thought a fully healthy Clippers team would have beat the Suns.
I'm with you.
But the Clippers, without Kawhi, shouldn't have beat them.
Even after watching the series, I feel like
they could have beat them.
It's even more clear.
Kawhi. Correct. That's after we've seen them play.
Correct. No, I'm saying even with Kawhi, after watching the series.
I didn't even mention this, but the coaching disparity between Monty Williams and Budenholzer is here.
Oh, it's significant.
To here.
I'm with you.
I mean, the offensive sets that they're going to throw at the
Bucks
is going to be insane.
I'm with you.
And defensively, I'm just saying, buckle up, Bucks fans. You're going to need it because this is going to be a long, fast ride that's going to go straight into the wall. Bam! And they're going to lose. And then you will not see a championship.
I don't know. We'll see.
I think
Giannis has been.
This is just going to be the series where the Bucks have to finally show us that they're that good 3-point shooting team that we know they are. They just haven't been that as of late. I think a lot of the things you said, Joel, I really can't argue. It's facts. You know, the Suns.
I know.
Up to this standard, have been performing admirably. They've dealt with some adversity like every other team, but with Milwaukee, you know, just watching them fight through Atlanta without Giannis, you know, you just seen a different side of them late. And like you said, Budenholzer, he's gonna get out coached. I think we can all agree to that. Yep. This series, he's definitely gonna get out coached. He's gonna play Lopez to the day he dies. And I think in a series like this, the reason why the Clippers were so successful is because of their small ball and how they went small. I think with this Bucks team, you can go small, but I don't think Budenholzer is probably going to do that. And with that, like you said, with that wall, they can build that mini wall that can be, because Mikal Bridges is a really good defender on the perimeter. Even you didn't mention Cameron Johnson. He's also a really good defender on the perimeter.
Yeah, he's really good. I didn't mention him because I think he's really skinny.
Well, him and Mikal are kind of like the same.
I think Giannis is handling both of them with
Mikal has bulk.
Well, the thing is, it's not about who at the top. It's just help.
Because I'm trying to think, because the Atlanta series,
Torrey Craig can do a great job.
They didn't have that kind of.
They don't have their wings.
I'm with you, but they still had Clint Capella, John Collins to build a wall in the paint, and it really did nothing.
John Collins is worse than Mikal.
I'm not disagreeing with you there.
Cameron Johnson, he's soft on defense.
Okay, fair
enough. And Clint Capella is the most deceiving non-good defender ever. In Houston, he was
shot blocker.
In Houston, he was giving up 62% field goal percentage at the basket.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was not covering nothing. Onyeka was really their best defender against Giannis, and he's a rookie center.
But do you really think that there's anyone that could stop Giannis?
I don't think there's anyone that can stop, but I think the wall can stop him.
It's about help defense.
But it's like we've seen Middleton come into form now.
Well, to be fair, Middleton's very horrible in games 1 and 2, regardless of where they are.
And he's bad away.
However, when he's needed to be clutch, he has been.
Okay.
And that's a fact. There's no way you could say he hasn't.
No, okay.
When he's needed to be big,
I don't think
when he's had the crutch of Giannis, yes.
I don't think this
when
is
Giannis is there to lead them to a close game. Yes,
Atlanta, he wasn't there.
Exactly, he didn't even play.
Yes, I know that was one game though. I'm talking about like
game 5 and 6.
This is a whole new postseason.
Drew Holiday was great game 5 more than Middleton.
but Giannis wasn't there. It was those two having the.
Yeah, but Holiday really had the great game. It wasn't Middleton.
Sure.
But Middleton still played well. He had the great game in the closeout game, which mattered.
Yeah, 22 in the third.
Away.
Atlanta has no defenders. Let's just throw that out there right now.
I don't think this series is a series that they can go behind and try to come back, though.
You're saying Milwaukee, they need, yep.
Yeah, I don't think this is the type of series that they can do that. Because once Phoenix got your foot on the neck,
they're lethal. Shooting-wise,
it's wraps.
Yep, and they could beat you in multiple ways. But
so I have the Suns in 5-6. You didn't want to give a game for the Bucks. You just have the Bucks.
Give a game.
Okay. If Giannis is better than what if he's fine, if he's fine, I have Bucks in 6.
Okay.
If Giannis is not fine, but he's still playing, I'll probably take Phoenix in 7.
I think I'm gonna go regardless. Bucks in 7.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, this is Chris Paul's first finals, so we'll see how he plays.
This is everybody's first finals outside of Jay Crowder.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe it's a lot, but finals MVP prediction.
Well,
I feel like
Suns,
Bucks it has to be Giannis if they're gonna win.
I mean, he's gonna stuff the stat sheet.
For Phoenix though, I would not be surprised if Ayton was the star.
He was their star last series.
Yeah, he definitely was, but that's what I'm saying.
I'll say Devin Booker.
Fair enough. That's a good answer. Okay.
I'm going to die on this bridge. Devin Booker is going to get locked up.
Listen, Pat Bev gave him fits, and that was another thing. If Drew Holiday says, you know what, I know that I need to be stronger offensively, but defensively, this is my job. It was
different, though. Pat Bev is able to run over the screen because there's not a Lopez behind him. There's going to be a Lopez behind Drew Holiday. So Lopez is going to drop. Devin Booker is going to have enough time to get that jump shot off. With the Clippers, it was different because it was a small ball big, so it was somebody that could either hedge it or stay up because.
So who was the one hedging?
It was usually Morris or sometimes PG, and then there's help side, Batum or Man being on the help, able to cut down. So when Ayton does come down, there's another defender right there.
You don't think Giannis will take whenever if he plays tonight or game 2? You don't think Giannis will take Ayton?
It depends. If Lopez is there,
I don't think small, yeah.
Because if Giannis takes Ayton, then that pick and roll is not as dangerous as we're thinking.
Because if Lopez is playing, he can take Ayton. I don't deny that he can guard.
I'm just saying strictly pick and roll defense.
I don't think Budenholzer would do that.
Giannis on Ayton?
I don't think if Lopez is in the game, I don't think Budenholzer would do it.
I like that matchup a lot, actually.
Yeah, if they go small, yeah.
Then you have Lopez on a corner shooter.
Yeah.
And if you have Lopez on a quarter shooter,
you could put Lopez on Bridges.
Oh, hell no.
What is he gonna do?
That's such a what? Come on. Let's
is
not
Bridges?
disrespect.
Bridges
Mikal
is really a
Bridges.
shooter.
No, yeah. What is Bridges gonna
He's
do?
just a shooter.
He could create off the dribble. I've seen him do it plenty of times. He's a knockdown shooter too.
He is a knockdown shooter, but I don't like. I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Oh, Mikal's gonna give Lopez 30."
It's not a bad.
in a
It's not the worst. It's not a.
He'll
It's
give
not
him
a bad
20
statement.
at least.
Is Mikal built like that?
Yes, he is. That's
Average 20 if he.
I ain't
he
seen-
averages 17 in the season. It's not far off from 20.
Okay, fair enough.
I haven't seen enough separation for that one.
With this
17?
run, the Suns have
He
made.
averaged 10.
No, he didn't. That you're probably looking at like last game. He didn't average 10 in the season.
Let's see.
Crazy, bro.
13.5.
Let me
Definitely not 17.
Yeah, you jumped that. That was crazy.
And he's a career 10.2.
Okay, you're right. 13.5. You're right. You're right. I could have sworn it was 17 earlier in the season.
Maybe it's another. Maybe you got CP3's like CP3 might be averaging 17.
Yeah, he is. I think
Yes?
he is. Yeah.
I think
All right,
CP is at
let's see if
16,
I'll bet you
17.
13 and a half is not bad though.
No, that's good.
CP3 16.
Okay.
All right, it's pretty close to 17.
He was gonna give him the MVP, 16
Well,
and 8.
Mikal shot 42% from three.
No, he's a
Lopez
shooter.
helps. Lopez takes one step. He's slow to step out. It's over.
What's over?
Mikal's gonna knock down the three.
Oh, I thought you meant like he's gonna.
But how many threes is he really going to attempt a game? Do you
If
think
he's
gonna,
open,
if he-
a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
How
If
many
Lopez
threes does he
cheats,
average
a
right
lot.
now? How many? I'll look it up right now. You guys.
Well,
can-
it's different. We're talking about matchups though.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if he's really a volume shooter, like he averages.
He's not a volume
He averages
shooter.
4 threes a game.
We're exaggerating his offense.
Mm-hmm. No,
Like,
I agree.
extremely
I think he's
exaggerating
mostly a defender, amazing defender who can happen to shoot the three ball
He is
relatively
a spot
well.
up 3-pointer
Yep.
with
So
sometimes will cut
I
to the
don't
basket.
disagree too much with what you're saying. You put Brook on him, like Mikal is gonna shoot. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but Brook Lopez is not gonna just stay on an island on Mikal.
That is also
Not only
true.
That
that,
is
but
true.
Mikal on cuts is so much faster than Lopez. He's gonna have that edge.
Yep.
And if Lopez cheats, he's not fast enough to step out there and contest the shot. And that's an open three. You give Mikal 5 open looks and you give him opportunities to cut to the basket, he's gonna have 20 easily.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that Mikal's gonna go Devin Booker on Brook Lopez, but I think having him on an island against a knockdown 3-point shooter when he has to help is gonna be bad.
Okay.
I'm just listen, hey man. I'm just giving us because we know Budenholzer is gonna play both of them.
Yep.
Just trying to give them
No doubt they're
keeping them in
playing
that.
With this Suns and Bucks run to the championship, there's been a lot of talk about is there an asterisk on this championship because the Suns have not faced a healthy team on this road to the finals. The Bucks did luck out with with Kyrie and James Harden being injured, and you could even say Trae Young in the Hawks series. You know how I feel about the Suns. You know, I think that, it's overblown, this lucky road they've been on, because I don't think it's been lucky. I think talks of asterisks are absolutely stupid because last year the bubble happened. Goran, Dragic, Bam were injured for the finals. 2019, Klay and KD hurt when Kawhi won that championship. 2018, CP3 got injured. 2017, the Warriors were just stacked.
Yeah.
Like, there was no competition. 2016, Draymond was suspended. And 2015, Kyrie and Kevin Love were injured.
I think the last respectful ring was 14 and 13.
But
16
respectful
wasn't respectful.
But I think talks about being
11
respectful. I think talks about being respectful are pretty ridiculous because I think injuries are a part of the game, and asterisks don't exist. They just don't exist. When we talk about players' all-time performances, when we talk about their all-time accolades, we're not like, oh, but this ring that KD got, it has an asterisk. Nobody's doing that. When you go back,
That's
nobody's
debatable.
doing
That's debatable.
it. I don't think nobody's doing that.
The KD chips.
Yeah, because it's recent, some people will argue that illogical argument, but think about it. When you look at what Magic Johnson accomplished, what Larry Bird accomplished, what Jordan accomplished, nobody ever says, "Oh, but Jordan in these finals, he didn't face a team that was as good as his," or Larry Bird, "Oh, there was injuries throughout."
Yeah, only
this
LeBron
road.
fans do that.
Nobody does that because a championship is a championship, and when we're looking back at the game and people's accomplishments years later, all that's going to matter is that you're a champion. That's all that's going to matter. It's not going to matter how you got it. It matters how you did it. And regardless, only one team out of 30 gets to be a champion at the end of the season. Regardless of the road it took to get there, you are the last standing out of 30. That is a remarkable accomplishment. You are the champions for that season. I think all this asterisk talk is pretty ridiculous, and I don't even know why this comes up every year. It feels like every year there's this asterisk talk. When KD went to the Warriors, his rings won't count with the bubble, the Mickey Mouse ring. I think all this talk is just ridiculous.
I think, yeah, it's crazy because every year, like you said, over the past 5-6 years, there's been a certain asterisk at the end of the season, whether it be Steph or KD or LeBron. There's always been an asterisk. But I think this run is a little different than the latest runs we've had. Kawhi, like I'll throw you some examples. Kawhi Leonard 2019 run, Philly was healthy, Milwaukee was healthy. I'm not even going to acknowledge Orlando, but okay, they were healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Clay, obviously, in the finals, they got hurt. 2018, Chris Paul did go down. But on the other side, LeBron, for the most part, played everybody healthy. So I think 2017, like you said, KD and them destroyed them. 2016, for the most part, OKC was healthy. It was just in the finals. I think asterisks just because it's like when we look at Chris Paul and we look at Devin Booker in the history of the NBA, Chris Paul being the top 5 point guard of all time, it's easy to just say, oh, he won this ring. But I think with the Lakers being unhealthy and missing their star player, I'm not acknowledging Denver. I think with the Clippers missing their star player, I don't want to say it's like an asterisk, but I think it does deserve what we like to say is context when you're talking about the run or the legacy.
That's
because
very fair.
Context has to be added. And even like you said, Magic, MJ, and Bird, people say MJ won 6. Other people like the context. Who did he play? What did he do individually? Context always has to be added because it's like that brings a different outlook on the situation. So I think with this run, it's a good run. And like you said, they deserve it because I'm not blaming them for being the healthiest team at the end of the year. I don't even think, I said it before, I think if they win the ring, they win the ring. I respect that they won the ring. But when you look at it, you have to acknowledge the fact that Anthony Davis was hurt and it ruined what could have been a great first-round series. And Kawhi Leonard didn't play in the WCF, which could have made it a really incredible WCF. Same on the other side. Milwaukee isn't – injuries ruined what could have been Brooklyn's run, you know what I'm saying? And Atlanta, Trae Young went down, Giannis went down. That ruined what could have been a great Atlanta series too. So I think, context should be better used. I don't think asterisk should be a word, but I think context should always be added in the conversation.
So this season is pretty particular because we've seen a lot of the all-stars go down, and that's where I feel like a lot of people are taking more scrutiny to this championship than as into the past. Because I think it's been 9 all-stars that have missed time in this postseason, something
10.
like that. Regardless, a stupid number, but it's not like this is the first season, like you guys mentioned, that we've seen it happen. And it's not the Suns or the Bucks' fault that it's happened, and it's not the Suns or the Bucks' fault that they happen to be the healthiest. In my opinion, that is credit to them that they were able to take care of their bodies as well as they were and were able to perform when they were needed most. And there's nothing wrong with being the healthiest, especially when they've also gone through their injuries. Like you mentioned earlier when we were talking about the preview, CP3 went down with a shoulder injury, also got COVID. Devin Booker broke his nose, had to wear a mask, but he prevailed through that, even though his shooting numbers were pretty, I wouldn't say significant, but not as what he was doing prior to that. Definitely went down. Then you look at the Bucks. Giannis could be missing some time. And obviously, Giannis is the most important player to that team. So it's not like these two teams haven't had their share of adversity, and they've just handled it the best. And I will give them credit for that. So this asterisk talk, in my opinion, is a little foolish here, especially when we've seen both sides in the finals experience issues of these sorts. So asterisk a little strong. Have there been asterisks in the past? I feel like there's definitely some instances of where I think that an asterisk applies, but in this situation, I don't think so.
The thing I kind of struggle with is that context does matter. I agree with that.
That was a good point.
But that only matters if we're debating, right?
Correct.
When people debate LeBron versus Jordan, LeBron's finals record, okay, but he faced Golden State. Jordan, but he got eliminated in the first round and stuff. That's the context to the argument.
Yep.
But when we're talking about trying to devalue a championship just because of the path, I think that's where it's ridiculous. that championship is still a championship. Is the Phoenix Suns title run one of the easiest that we've seen in memory outside of Golden State when they were completely stacked? Yes, possibly. That you can make a huge case for that. Does that devalue their championship? No. They're still champions at the end of the day. And anybody trying to erase that from history, I think is ridiculous. I think you can argue it in terms of context compared to other championships.
Correct.
But you can't say, oh, they didn't deserve it. Oh, they didn't do this, do that. Oh, look at this. I just think that is where I kind of push back a little bit. And talking about asterisks, obviously that matters when talking about legacy, right? Because Kevin Durant, people to this day think that his championships were not that great because he was on a stacked team. They think he has asterisks. So legacy means a lot, right? Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Paul. They are two players in this series right now that have the most to gain by winning an NBA championship.
I like how you just...
No, he went crazy.
Yeah, I like how you just did that.
Crazy.
I like how you just transitioned into that. That was tough.
That was perfect.
Like, I was thinking, I'm like, where is he going with this?
He
I was
bugged
like, wow.
out.
You guys ruined it by saying
I'm
I bugged
sorry,
out before
bro.
I let you guys
It was so
go.
fire. I had to stop it.
But I got to go with the question, okay? Whose legacy would a championship run help more, Giannis or CP3? Or this championship help more, not championship run?
You know, it's crazy, but I think, you know, it's tough because I feel like, come on, bro, you going to hit me in the middle.
All right. It was an accident. Go ahead.
I think, you know, over the past year or two, people have been bashing Giannis, you know, disrespecting him as a basketball player and really coming down on his legacy, saying he doesn't deserve this, he doesn't deserve that, he's overrated. And with Chris Paul, you know, we've seen in the past people kind of, you know, bash him in a sense, you know, come for his legacy, saying he's a choke artist and saying he can't win the big one. So I think for starters, this is going to put both of them at a high pedestal. And I think Giannis already has a Hall of Fame career. I think Chris Paul is a Hall of Famer. You know, Giannis being only 26 years old, I think it's funny because it's like, I think it can go both ways, but I think for Chris Paul, it means more.
Okay.
You know, I think it matters for him more because he is 36. You know, he is at the end of his career. And I think this is the one time where it's like we were just talking about. This is the one time where you really have a significant chance to really get this ring and really run into the sunset, not to mention the Banana Boot crew. You know, D-Wade got 3 of them things. LeBron got 4 of them things. Melo, you and Melo be sitting on the side with no rings. I know that's like embarrassing. That's like, damn. Well, both of my boys got multiple rings. We don't. So it's like to initiate yourself in a group that you guys consider one of the best players in the NBA history, you know, getting that ring, I think that'll definitely implement Chris Paul and definitely push him into that. He's already cemented. I think people will still question if he's a top 5 point guard of all time, but I think that a ring will probably cement him into that top 5 point guard list.
You think no chip, he's still top 5?
I think so, but I think people will still push back on it.
Okay.
But I think that a ring and how he does it would definitely – I don't even think he needs to play like elite or win the finals MVP. I think he just needs to play good, and then that'll cement him as a top 5 point guard of all time. So I think with Giannis, you know, being 26 years old, he still has time to switch over to another team or win another ring. You know, I think he has a long and illustrious career, but I think with Chris Paul, you know, time is running, and I think this is the one time he needs to do it.
A lot of good points you made there, but for me, I feel like this is a no-brainer. I feel like this one leans Giannis. I feel as if we've seen players come into the league and have all this potential on their name and not live up to it, truthfully. Giannis really didn't have that potential or that, you know, that pressure on him.
Hype on his name.
Correct, exactly. He made himself what he is today, and I give him a lot of credit for that. However, you look at, like you mentioned, he's been getting trash talk these last 2 seasons after winning the MVP, but not being able to get it done in the postseason. But to look at his resume, at 26 years old, you have 2 MVPs. You have a Defensive Player of the Year the same year that you won Most Valuable Player. However many All-NBA teams that he has. I think he's been All-Defense every single year that he's been an All-Star. He is phenomenal, and the fact that he's going to potentially accomplish all this at the age of 26, it just immediately launches his name into best players of all time. Not that he would be the best player of all time. I'm insinuating he would be among the greats of the game off rip with a championship. At 26 years old, the fact that he has, like I mentioned, all these accolades to his name already, a championship as well as a finals MVP before the age of 26, would have a championship before LeBron. LeBron turned 28. He won his first championship. Michael won his first championship at 28.
27.
I think, no, he was 28.
Was it 28?
He was 28. LeBron and him won it the same year. But he would just change how everyone views his future and how they look at him now. A championship at 26 would not just lift off a huge weight off his shoulders. It's a resume that, how you mentioned, you think that he could be a Hall of Famer. A championship, he could retire the day after that championship. He could be in Hall of Fame consideration. I understand where you go with the CP3s. Like, for sure, I think that a championship would lock him in the top 5. But it's like, his legacy's already pretty cemented with a chip or not. Would it help his legacy? For sure. I just think that this chip means a little bit more to Giannis, as in he has so much time left to go, and this chip would only just launch his name into, like I mentioned, Hall of Fame status, all-time great status, among the best players ever.
With the monologue that I just did, along with the transition that I was hoping to accomplish, I felt like we were on a 3-on-1 fast break and you smoked the layup. I just wanted to say that because I was getting ready to ask the question and make it so smooth, and you just totally interrupted it. I was like a clip.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't be upset if I was you, man.
I am.
Yeah, are you?
I am, because I knew how great it was, and then I was like, yes, like I felt like I just had a LeBron-esque block on Iguodala. I got the ball. We're on a fast break, and I pass it. And right when I'm about to pass it, which I was getting ready to ask the question, I was about to pass it, and he just fumbles the ball, or like he trips, and then we get a turnover. So that's how I know.
I'll take some blame too. I screamed in your ear or something like that.
That's why after I was like, "What the hell?"
Listen, man, I wouldn't be upset. It was
so perfect, bro. I'm like, no way.
I'm sitting here like, oh my god, this is where he went with it.
It was like watching like Lil Wayne and Drake in the booth and just like going crazy. Like I was like, wow,
bro, it was perfect. I'm sorry, bro, but it was amazing.
I think I'm a little bit more generous than you guys in terms of Hall of Fame. I think Giannis is already a Hall of Famer. No doubt about it. I really think he is. Chris Paul is an 11-time All-Star, 4-time assist leader, 6-time steals leader, 10-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Defensive Team, and won the Rookie of the Year. Giannis is a 5-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, Most Improved Player, Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time All-NBA, and 4-time All-Defensive Team. I think what hurts Giannis's legacy, you could say a little bit, is that he doesn't have any. He's not a leader in any category in terms of he's never been a scoring leader, an assist leader, a rebound leader, a blocks leader, or a steals leader in the league. Chris Paul is 4-time assist leader and 6-time steals leader. But when arguing a legacy, we have to argue this. If Chris Paul wins a championship, how much does that elevate him in all-time point guards debate? I don't think it elevates him much. Steph Curry and Magic are already locked in at 1 and 2. It probably elevates him over Stockton, even though Stockton is going to have thousands of more assists than Chris Paul when it's all said and done. So that is debatable. Maybe that chip puts him over Stockton, but it's not going to elevate him too much. I think he's already a top 5 point guard. When we talk about Giannis, if he's already a 2-time MVP, if he were to not only if he were to get a championship ring and a finals MVP, not only is that going to set him up to already have a first ballot Hall of Fame resume and career, but that's going to set him up to stop being snubbed from the MVP conversation. Because the only reason Giannis wasn't in the MVP conversation this past season was because, but the playoffs.
Yep.
That's the only reason why. If he wins a championship, now voters are going to be like, maybe he should win an MVP because he did win a championship. He did win finals MVP. We're not going to have that voter fatigue with Giannis that much anymore because we're like, okay, he's a champion. Whereas if he doesn't win, we're still going to mention that, I don't want to vote him for MVP because he's already a 2-time MVP and he has no championship. I think that stain is still going to be on him. Giannis is a first ballot Hall of Famer, I think, already with his resume right now. If he just keeps on this pace, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Getting a championship with a finals MVP, I think after this season, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He could retire after the championship and be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think this helps Giannis so much because it elevates him so much in the all-time greats conversation. I don't think this ring is going to elevate Chris Paul as much as Giannis in the all-time great conversation. Like, Giannis is going to take a boost from here to here. Chris Paul is going to be from here to here. I don't think it's going to elevate him that much further.
And one thing to add to our point before you can go ahead, but multiple MVPs in a championship. There have been 11 guys. Bob Pettit, Russell, Wilt, Kareem, Moses Malone, Bird, Magic, Jordan,
Curry.
Duncan, LeBron, Curry. It's like, it's not, and if Giannis wins that, he's going to be in that class with them. And it's not
multiple rings, multiple MVPs?
No, multiple MVPs and a championship. Only 11 guys have that.
My only thing is, if Giannis doesn't win this year, so what? He's 26. He has 9, 10 more years to get another one. If Chris Paul doesn't win this year, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, he's probably going to play again, but it's like, how many more years really will he get another chance?
I agree with that. Oh, wow. We actually said that at the same time.
Go ahead.
I'll say this, though. That's the same mindset KD, Harden, and Russell Westbrook had when they went to the finals very young. They had that same mindset. Oh, but we have our whole careers to do it. KD did it because he joined a super team. Harden and Westbrook are still grinding. They're 30 trying to get that. Russell Westbrook, I think it's safe to say he's not going to get it. Harden has the best chance because he's in Brooklyn. A lot of players were in the championship at a young age, and they never got there again, or they lost the next time they got there. Like right now, Giannis, he's 26, but next year, Brooklyn healthy, they're there. We know that there's going to be movement around the league, and teams are going to form better teams, and Milwaukee's pretty much stuck with their roster right now that they're going to have. If we're like just looking down the line at the future, this is probably the Bucks' best chance to win, and they're probably not going to get this window of opportunity ever again.
But
with Giannis,
like I was saying, you have, like you mentioned, you said, so what if he loses? And I agree with you there. But you just got to think about it. If he wins, how people are going to look at his future for his career for the rest of his time.
No, that's true.
You know what I mean? It's like you have one championship, you have MVPs, you have a Defensive Player of the Year. You're the first person to do that since Hakeem Olajuwon to win an MVP and a Defensive Player in the Year in the same season. And you have a championship at 26 before the greatest ever and LeBron James, who also could be the greatest ever.
Just think about this.
Wait. Giannis didn't win MVP this year.
No, he didn't.
I didn't.
No, he didn't. Last year, he won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year.
Hakeem was the first to do it all in the same year.
That's what I'm saying. Since
Giannis
Hakeem
never did it.
He did it last year.
No, he didn't win a ring.
He won.
No, Hakeem is the first.
All I was saying was MVP and Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So wait, Hakeem won MVP.
He did it all in the same year.
Defensive Player of the Year
and
Finals MVP.
In the same year.
Oh my
that was
goodness, bro! I just got chills. That's crazy.
This is what I gotta say. Just think about. We know the media controls the narrative.
Right.
Just think about how the media is going to talk about the championship if Chris Paul or Giannis wins it. Let's say the Suns win. Chris Paul, they're gonna talk about him. Oh, is he an all-time? Is he top 5 in all-time great point guard? Is he better than Magic? Maybe you'll still talk about that.
Really?
Yeah, it's the media.
Fair enough.
True. They'll say, is Chris Paul the best leader of all time and all this stuff. They'll say stuff like that. With Giannis, it's going to be, is Giannis the best player in the world? Does Giannis have a better resume at 26 than LeBron?
I was going to say, can he
it's gonna,
eclipse LeBron?
Like the topic list about Giannis is going to be so broad, and it's going to feature names that we're like, whoa, if he wins.
But it's like, I get it, but it's like we've already seen the media say, is Giannis the best player in the world? We didn't already seen that. They tried to spin that.
But now
repeatedly.
he has a championship.
A
so
championship changes everything.
Okay, so then
and Giannis is playing a game 1. Just got the update.
Let's go.
Okay,
all right, I'm changing it. I don't want to get egregious.
So
all
wait,
right,
let me
I'll
ask
say
you a
Bucks
question,
in
Drew.
six. I'll say Bucks in six.
We list Giannis as a
power forward.
So you said this would put Giannis in the high.
He would be amongst the all-time greats already.
He probably could be 3
all-time power forward.
Tim Duncan, Malone.
Malone's a 5.
No, Malone's a 4.
Malone?
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Mose. That's what I'm.
Are you gonna put? With this resume, you could put him over KG.
They have the same resume.
Two-time MVP, no.
Not
that's what I'm saying. KG
not
only
at
has one.
26.
Finals MVP, no.
It took.
Wait, was KG the Finals MVP?
Nah,
No,
he should've.
Paul
He
Pierce
wasn't.
was. Paul Pierce should have been Finals MVP.
No, but
Paul
that's
Pierce
another day. But
true,
no,
true.
Giannis, Charles Barkley. Giannis's resume is over that.
In my humble opinion,
So he could be third all time.
It's got to be Tim. I could argue I'm taking him over Karl Malone. It's not that crazy to say. He wins a championship at 26. He went toe-to-toe with KD. Obviously, KD didn't have his full squad. He went toe-to-toe with KD.
Here comes the context. Don't do that.
Listen, I said it before even saying that. I said, listen, KD didn't have his full squad. But it's not like Giannis fumbled and didn't seize the opportunity.
No, 100%.
He played out of his mind after the first two games in Brooklyn. And it's
so we would put KD. We would have Giannis probably third, fourth maybe, but third in the 3-4 range.
Listen. I'm gonna say he could be
then
two.
Chris Paul, we would have him
top five.
Top five. He's ready top
But
five.
I feel like he could exactly. And I feel like Giannis right now is not top
Giannis
three,
is probably,
top four power forwards right now.
Is he over Dirk though?
With a championship
Would
at
Giannis be over
26,
Dirk? I don't think so because Dirk won the championship.
But if Dirk and he did it in an amazing fashion. If Dirk wins that championship against the Heat the first time, I feel like yes, I would easily lean that way. The Dirk run against Miami is just unbelievable.
I mean, resume wise, you could debate it.
That's hard.
But that's the thing. I think Giannis right now is he a top 10? Name. Is he a top 10 power forward of all time with this resume right now?
You have AD at 6, so Giannis has to be top 10.
Meaning
you have AD at 6.
The power forward all time. You have AD at like 6, so Giannis has to be right there.
The thing is, Giannis is doing it as the guy. In my opinion, I would put Giannis over AD. AD needed Bron to do it. Giannis is doing it as the number one, no doubt about it. So, and listen, and I'm saying this as a guy who loves Anthony Davis. It's a fact.
I think this would just be a dope Cinderella story for Chris Paul. Means its weight because I feel like Giannis. Even though we say like he might never get a chance, and we bring up Harden and Westbrook. Harden and Westbrook weren't as good as they were at that time as Giannis is now. Like Giannis is like peak, not even peak Giannis. Giannis is dominant Giannis. Harden was still figuring out Westbrook. Yeah, so it's like he can, always find a way to get another ring. And granted, Brooklyn is gonna be there, but
so this site, Fadeaway World, ranked the top power forwards of all time. It's surprising they don't have Giannis here, so I'm guessing they didn't listen to this power forward, but. These are the top power forwards.
Well, he was a small forward for a little bit.
Yeah, Pau Gasol, Chris Webber. I think Giannis is better than both. Chris Bosh, Giannis is better than him.
Easy.
Anthony Davis, Dennis Rodman, Giannis. And then these are the top 10 power forwards.
Giannis needs a chip before I can put him over AD.
No, hell no.
He's
I thought you meant that. He already has MVPs over him, DPOIs over him, all NBA first teams.
He doesn't have the chip. If he wins the chip, I will easily put him over.
Okay, these are the top 10 power forwards.
So then Dirk is over him, right?
As of right now, yeah.
Okay.
These are the top 10 power forwards according to this list. Jerry Lucas, he played for the Knicks. Kevin McHale. Elvin Hayes.
Is it in
Bob
any
Pettit.
order or no?
Yeah, these are. These are the top 5 power forwards of all time according to the list. Yeah. Kevin Garnett is 5. Dirk is 4. Barkley is 3. Malone is 2. And Duncan is 1. I think Giannis with the championship, considering he's a 2-time MVP, he could win a championship and be the Finals MVP, and he has a DPOY. He could be over KG. He could be over Dirk. And I'd put him over Barkley. I would rank Giannis the third best power forward of all time.
Why not over
resume-wise?
That list, what that list tells
me
he
does that.
Is that they're valuing Malone and Barkley individually more than KG and Dirk's rings because they're ahead of both of them. And that would lead to so Giannis's ring is probably going to put him. I don't know if it puts him over KG.
I think KG gets the nod over Dirk because he was more of a complete player than Dirk was.
I think KG's over Barkley in my opinion. I have KG over Barkley.
Okay,
I will have KG as
if my dad was having this conversation, he'd be going.
I mean,
crazy.
I think KG is over Barkley too.
Yeah,
I'm not. I can't say that.
Defensively,
I think
yeah,
I can't say that.
He's a two-way.
You just got to think about it like this: Charles Barkley should not have been a power forward. He did not have the body type to bang down low the way he did, but he was so strong. He was so dominant. He was still able to do so.
He's like what Zion is now.
Yeah, you're losing me.
He was the OG Zion. Exactly my point.
But Zion is a power forward.
I'm with you.
What are you saying?
All I'm saying is he's one of the pioneers for being
Is he
undersized.
better than Kevin Garnett?
I think talent-wise, I would lean Charles Barkley.
So look, these are Charles Barkley's resume. 1-time MVP, 11-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA.
KG has that.
Giannis has 2 MVPs. He has 5 All-NBAs, and he's a 5-time All-Star. So he would have to play like 7 more seasons to have those All-Stars and All-NBA appearances. But in terms of all the other accolades, he has that.
KG's a one-time MVP.
But I know Malone, you can't put him over Malone because Malone's a 2-time MVP, 14-time All-Star, 14-time All-NBA, and 4-time All-Defensive Team selection.
He was just dominant for 20 years.
My point being is Giannis is 26. You're telling me he can't reach Malone?
Yes, no.
When it's all said and done, maybe,
Probably.
yeah.
Maybe?
Yes, maybe. Malone is
the 2
great.
MVPs. That's what stuck out to me the most because Giannis is going to get the 14. Giannis is going to get to those numbers. God willing, he stays healthy. It's like that's no doubt to me. It's the fact that Giannis is going to do it at this young of age. It's not like Malone didn't have a chance. Malone had 2 opportunities to get the job done. He couldn't do it.
You're right. But we're talking about like regular season success. I mean, Malone
Giannis hasn't been
not more than Malone. Like, Malone is different. Malone is second all-time in scoring.
Giannis does it averaging like 33 minutes a game.
Malone is second all-time in scoring.
And how many minutes did he play a game?
We're not going to play the minutes game.
But
Bro,
he's second all-time in scoring.
We're not playing the minutes game. Come
Giannis,
on.
He averages 33 minutes a game and averages almost 30
I'm not
points.
gonna fault somebody for wanting to stay in the game.
I'm not either, but
or
imagine
the coach keeping them in the game.
If Giannis played 40 to 43 minutes, he'd be averaging 35 a game.
What? That's what we're doing?
But that's a fact.
We can look at their per 36 numbers, and I guarantee you Malone's are better than Giannis.
Pull it up.
I don't want to pull it up right now because
why would you say that?
Pull it up.
Because I think the topic is getting a little bit too
true, very true. But we're talking legacy.
Forwarded. Okay.
We're talking legacy.
So let's talk about Giannis and let's talk about Malone. Pull up Karl Malone. I'll pull up Giannis.
All right,
let's do that.
Malone.
Oh boy, it's gonna get tricky.
So what per 36?
Yeah, I mean it has it right there on Basketball Reference.
Yeah,
per 36. Giannis for his career averages 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Yo, Riv, help me find this, bro.
Give me.
Actually, I'll get it. It's cool.
I'm gonna show you anyway, so you know.
Word, I do want to find out.
So per 36, he has it. It's right here. Oh shit.
Karl Malone's stats are 24 points per game, 10 rebounds, 3 assists.
Forward.
Yeah. So you just scroll per 100.
Actually, no. Per 36, Giannis hasn't beat. Because
I'm not surprised.
Let's look at
ridiculous.
Last 3 seasons for Giannis per 36. This past season, he's averaging 31 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists.
Right.
Last season, his MVP season, he's averaging 35, 16, and 6. 3 years ago, he averaged 30, 14, and 6 per 36.
So that 35 Karl Malone, points per game is exactly what I said.
Karl Malone's best year per 36 minutes wise, he's averaging 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists.
This man Giannis is a freak of nature.
I don't like to compare numbers from now
and that's fair because it's definitely a different game.
90s was fast paced too, though.
Yeah, I just don't like to do it.
There's actually a stat that says if you take, obviously the new NBA is different, and Giannis is one of the pioneers of the new NBA. But it's like you take out the last 3 years, the top 5 highest offensive ratings all are from the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, but
he's a pioneer of the new school, so.
These Giannis numbers are pretty insane, so you got that one. But I just think Malone longevity is just different. You know, you got to pay respects to that.
I agree, but you don't.
If Giannis, yeah, definitely.
Exactly. He'll get all that.
If he keeps on this trajectory,
and God willing, stays healthy.
I think he'll be a first ballot if he gets the ring. But like,
I don't think it's possible to pass Timmy. I don't think that's possible.
And first of all, for both of them, bringing a ring to Phoenix and Milwaukee is a feat.
God, forget about it.
Itself. So shout out to both of them for getting that because Milwaukee doesn't have one, I don't think, and Phoenix doesn't have one either. So I think that's great too.
So
for both
we
of them.
know that Phoenix versus the Bucks are going to try to build a wall and try to contain Giannis, which is the same thing the 2019 Raptors did, and that was led by Kawhi Leonard and his brilliance.
Kawhi Jordan.
And Kawhi Leonard right now has a decision to make. The decision is whether he wants to stay or leave with the Los Angeles Clippers. He has a $36 million option, and right now, let me just name you the free agents the Clippers have. Nicholas Batum, Reggie Jackson, DeMarcus Cousins. Reggie Jackson was huge in this playoff run. Not bringing him back would be a huge slap in the face after what he's done. Nicholas Batum was also very huge. They got him on a minimum deal. And Serge Ibaka also has a player option. So Kawhi Leonard could be returning to a team that is not going to have Batum, Jackson, or Ibaka next season. But the players guaranteed to be on the roster are Paul George, Marcus Morris, Beverly, Luke Kennard, Terrence Mann, Zubac, and Rajon Rondo. Some potential destinations for Kawhi are Miami. They have 3 big free agents, Oladipo, Kendrick Nunn, and Robinson. And they have 2 team options. Goran Dragic for $19 million and Iguodala for $15 million. And if they don't pick those up, that would free up $34 million in cap space, and they could make a run at Kawhi Leonard, especially if they don't re-sign some of their big free agents. And you also got Dallas as a potential suitor. They could get him as well. And New York, the Knicks. But if the Knicks were to get him, they would have a big 3 of Randall, RJ, and Kawhi. Maybe Dame is there if they do end up trading for Dame. The Mavs would have Kawhi, Luka, and KP. The Clippers would have Kawhi, PG, and maybe Kyle Lowry goes and joins them. We don't know. But the Heat's big 3 would be Kawhi, Butler, and Bam, which sounds like the best big 3 out of all of them. If I'm Kawhi Leonard, I'm going to Miami. I'm teaming up with Jimmy Butler. I'm forming the best 2-way duo in the NBA. And with Bam Adebayo's versatility, being a center, being able to guard all 5 positions, I think that would be a defensive nightmare for any teams. Kawhi would pick up the offense that Miami lacked last season. And I think this just sounds like a great fit for Kawhi, going to Miami and teaming up with Jimmy Butler.
You know, it's tough because, like you said, like naming those guys on that free agent, I hope, is Reggie on bird rights?
Reggie's free agent.
Oh, okay. So I hope they bring Reggie back. You know, that would be, I think, I'm pretty confident Batum will probably come back. But like you said, and Serge has a player option. He'll probably accept that. It's tough, you know, this run for the Clippers, you know, watching his team win without him, PG stepping up and getting back to that PG-13 form, Reggie Jackson performing. You know, it's really tough to see. I think, like you said, Miami, he can go to Miami and create a 3-way defensive tandem that would probably be the best defensive trio in the league, and it would be pretty incredible. But I think, you know, just going off what we've seen, we saw Miami get trampled by Milwaukee. Trampled. You saw Jimmy Butler get completely locked up in that series, and then we saw Brooklyn get formed. If I'm Kawhi, I'm thinking, why go out there and try to compete with that big 3 of Brooklyn if I just seen Jimmy Butler get locked up and his offense still being limited at the age he's at. Bam obviously has room to grow. Tyler Herro has room to grow. I agree, but I just think looking at that, I don't think that's a good landing spot. New York, I would need another star. They're a playoff team, but I would need another star to come with me to even compete. Damn. Yeah, to even compete with
that'd be crazy.
Brooklyn, man. You know, they had to compete with Brooklyn. So unless I'm getting Dame on the phone and he's already made the commitment to get the trade, I don't see myself going to New York. Now, Dallas is a tricky one because you can form a trio of you, Luka, and Porzingis, and you just seen Luka. It took me to go Almighty God for us to stop him.
Yeah, for real.
So that's a good landing spot too. You know, you and Luka. I don't know how their games would like coexist, but 2 great players, you make it work. It always tends to work regardless. And then you got LA. You know, you could stay home, play with the guys you just played. You just seen PG finally go back to his form, the guy you've been waiting to go before you even went down. You both were having 30-point back-to-back games. You know, it was a good thing to see. Marcus Morris is still there. You still got Zubac. Kennard has room to grow. Terrence Mann is growing into his own. I don't know, like, because it's a tricky situation. I think Dallas and the Clippers would be the best landing spots. I think just because of what we've seen and what we've seen this playoff run. I think New York would only be a spot if you're bringing another star there, and I think Miami is a good spot, but you don't want to be out there battling. You would rather see Brooklyn in the finals than early in the second round or in the first round or in the third round. I think you'd rather see Brooklyn in the finals because they're going to be there. So I think probably Dallas and the Clippers would be my 2 spots for the Kawhi.
So do you think he's going to leave?
I don't know. It's weird because he's with Kawhi, you really don't know. You did all this to bring PG to there. You guys had a shit show first season. You guys played terrible. You blew a 3-1 lead. Second year, you guys make your first WCF in franchise history. So I thought that was a good run, but I really don't know if he stays.
I just think it's unfortunate that the Clippers in their first year, which I think was their best team, had to go through the bubble. Because I think the bubble really messed up Paul George's mental state. He played bad because of it, and I think a lot of players were kind of hindered by that bubble. So who knows what they would have done outside of the bubble, but I'll say this. I was reading an article on Kawhi Leonard to the Heat, and it was this writer. I forgot from what website, but he just said something so ridiculous that I had to share it right now because I just remembered. He was like, Kawhi Leonard wouldn't be the best fit in Miami because we run a motion offense and Kawhi Leonard is more of an ISO scorer, and it wouldn't fit. I think the better options would be getting Otto Porter because he shoots 40% from 3 and Tony Snell.
So wait, he ended it with Otto Porter?
He literally put free agents and he was like, these are like better possible free agents we can get. And it was like the first name was Otto Porter.
And that got published?
Yeah. And I was like, what?
You thought you was going to see somebody like a big name.
For me, I think even though Miami runs an motion offense, I think
it work.
Kawhi Leonard, he's just a superstar. He's going to make it work wherever he goes. I really do think Miami's the best spot for him. You talk about Brooklyn's big three, KD, Harden, and Kyrie versus Bam, Kawhi, and Jimmy Butler. I do think that's pretty even. I do think Kawhi. This is why I say that.
Let me listen. Let me see.
I think Kawhi guarding whoever he wants to guard, whether it's KD or Kyrie or Harden, is going to do a great job. Jimmy Butler, we know, is a terrific defender. Bam Adebayo probably would be the matchup on KD because he has more length. I also do think that because of what I've seen from James Harden in the past in the playoffs, let's just call a spade a spade. In the playoffs, Miami could have an advantage because we don't know what Harden is going to be in the playoffs.
Saying this.
That's why they can have an advantage because James Harden is very wishy-washy.
But you don't think playing with KD and Kyrie is going to take the load off that?
I think playing with KD and Kyrie, Harden is going to not take as many shots that he takes, which means that he's going to be more efficient on the lesser shots he takes. And we saw him.
Though.
Oh, okay, yeah. But we saw him in Game 7 get a bunch of open three-point looks, miss those shots. He was hurt, but he missed a lot of open looks.
We did see him in Boston have a pretty good series before he went down.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but he needed to step up against Milwaukee.
A healthy Harden, I feel like he makes at least 3 of those shots.
Only reason I'm kind of iffy on that is because of what we just seen from Jimmy Butler.
We can say that all we want, but we've seen players play on injuries. We've seen Curry play on an MCL in the finals.
But he didn't play well.
He played better than what Harden played like.
I agree wholeheartedly.
And plus Curry is literally moving around all the time.
Yep.
We've seen Isaiah Thomas play on a broken ankle.
That was crazy.
We've seen players play hurt. LeBron through his cramps. We've seen players
play through a torn ACL. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, he did. We've seen players play through injuries, tough injuries, and still perform. I didn't like that Harden, after he played bad, now is the time he wants to tell the world that he had a grade 2 hamstring to try to ease the narrative on him. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I played bad, but I was basically playing on a grade 2 hamstring. You didn't say that before you played. You said you were good to go. So, we can play that game all we want, that if he was healthy, he would make 3 of those shots. But we've also seen him healthy versus Golden State Game 7, go for 2-11 from the 3-point line.
Right.
So we can't really use that argument, So I think Harden, I hope he does get a championship, but he has definitely made me lose more faith in him as the year's gone on. And I think this Game 7 versus the Bucks was one of the icings on the cake.
But do you think Miami would have enough offense? Because I think to beat Brooklyn, you have to maintain your
Tyler
offensive.
Hero, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi. I mean, I think Jimmy's 20+. Kawhi's 30. Like, really, he's 30 a night. Bam Adebayo, I think, gets better.
But doesn't Bam right now average what?
Like 19.
Okay, there you go.
Like that.
Okay.
Tyler Hero, I think, is 15 a game. Right. I think it's a must to bring back Duncan Robinson. That's pretty much it, though, because you're going to lose none.
Iguodala has to go.
Iguodala, he's not offense, though. But
I'm just saying, as
you lose
players.
none, you lose
Ariza's
Dragic.
Gone.
Ariza, yeah. I mean, I think they'll make up for it, especially they'll get minimum free agents. I mean, the Clippers this past season, Batum, Reggie Jackson, all on minimum deals. So you can get talent in the buyout market and by getting those veteran guys in there. So I think that wouldn't be that big of a problem. I think he only stays in LA if they get Kyle Lowry or get somebody of equal skill set to come play in LA, because their problem is not having a point guard.
What they thought they were getting in Rondo, you want them to actually get in Kyle Lowry.
Because Paul George in this playoff run played the point most of the time, and Reggie Jackson was just that guy that was coming in and scoring. I don't think that 3-man dynamic can work with Kawhi there, because Kawhi is basically going to fill in the role Jackson did in terms of just being a scorer. And Reggie Jackson's going to be relegated to a spot-up shooter again, and I don't think that's going to work. Okay. So they have to bring another guy in with Kawhi to come back. But maybe Kawhi is sticking true to his values and just says, I want to be home. And that's why he stays in L.A.
So you think he is going to stay, or you think he's gone?
I think he's gone.
And you're saying Miami?
Miami.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like he's going to stay. I feel like he just saw a squad without him really duke it out in the Western Conference Finals. And if I'm Kawhi, I'm sitting in those stands with my family thinking, man, if I was on this court, there's no doubt in my mind we would have handled these guys 1, 2, 3, and we'd be playing in our first finals in franchise history. But now what he has to be thinking is, man, I missed out playing with the bros, and next season,
does he really look at them as the bros?
I feel like he has to look at Paul George like a bro.
Okay.
At this point, you have to.
I don't know.
You have to.
You really don't know what that guy.
But now, I really especially that Paul George was eating, it's like, man, this is what I've been waiting for.
He said they talk every day. So.
And I believe that.
Do you think that Kawhi Leonard goes into the locker room, looks at Paul George, and just goes like, yo, what's good, man? Like, you think he's the type of guy to do that? Or you think he's just,
yes.
You think he's the type of guy to, I walk in the locker room, you're Paul George, I'm Kawhi, and I'm like, and then just go to my locker room. I think Kawhi is that type of guy.
I think he's the dude, he walks in, he just be like,
well,
he's one of those.
What makes me think that he's not the guy that you're saying he is after they won the championship and they're interviewing all these guys, are like, does Kawhi have fun? Like, be honest with me. How is Kawhi off the court? And he's like, he's just a regular guy. He's like you or me. And that's not the side that he shows to the media because he doesn't want them to see that
What else
side.
would they say, though?
That's a very good point, but at the same time, it's like, you know what?
Like, if you were a quiet and shy person,
they would say it.
And somebody asked me who the type of person you were, would I be like, oh, he's a quiet, shy person?
So
or would I just say, yeah, man, he's just like the rest of us?
To that point, different sport, but Nick Chubb, they mic'd him up, and they asked the guy on his team. They said, if you had to guess what Nick Chubb was saying on that mic'd up, what do you think he'd be saying? And he said, you probably got nothing. You probably got not a word. And you hear Nick Chubb, and it's just him running.
I think, well...
So I feel like, those, especially on a basketball level, I didn't mean to cut you off, but on a basketball level, you're way closer than you are on a 52-man roster. And it's like...
Well, Paul George did say that they talk every day and they were close. You know, he just had a baby girl, or was it a boy or something? So they seem, I guess they're cool. He knows all that information, so I don't know.
Everybody knows that
I just feel like you were so close to a finals and you weren't even playing. Your guys did right for you when you went out. They said, you know what, Kawhi's gone, but we're going to still play hard and we're not going to give up. And they closed out on the Jazz when they were down 26 without Kawhi. They went to the Sun series.
He was on the bench game 6.
You're saying Kawhi, he was questionable.
No, I'm saying like he
they're
finally,
supporting with them.
He was on the bench game 6 in Phoenix.
There's so many games I look at that Sun series and I just think, man, Kawhi Leonard would be the difference maker. Kawhi's not missing those 2 free throws. Not this Kawhi that I've seen. Maybe Kawhi in 2013 when he was a young pup and his knees were clattering against each other against the Heat. I'm sorry, bro.
And he locked up LeBron.
Thank you.
He locked up LeBron. He averaged 28 still on
that wasn't
50% shooting. And he hit the game-winning basket on Kawhi Leonard too. So I guess you could say he locked him up, but he still lost. 2014. In 2014, I'll give it to him because LeBron was those guys versus LeBron.
Get to your point. Stop bringing up LeBron.
My point being, there's no way that he could walk away from this and feel good about it. He was able to walk away from Toronto because he got the job done. He did what he needed to do. He can move on from that.
He just didn't want to be in Toronto.
And I don't blame him for that.
He wasn't saying I got the job done in Toronto, now I can go. He was packing regardless.
I think getting
it's easier to say that. It's easier to say that in hindsight, but I do agree though. I do think that he was out of Toronto. He did not want to be there.
How do you think they get Kyle Lowry though? Question for both of you.
Man, I don't know.
You have to let Reggie go.
No.
They need more than that.
They might not have cap space even. You got to trade Kennard.
Rondo has to go.
You got to trade Rondo. I mean, you got to really.
Rondo isn't a free agent next season. I thought you.
No,
meant,
he's a $9 million.
They have to. They have to really do some stuff with the cap to get Kyle Lowry.
I feel
or
like
it can be a sign and trade.
Yeah.
With Toronto, but they don't have any draft picks. They would have a bunch of second rounders.
I mean, that's true, but then again, it's like, if Toronto knows they're going to lose Lowry for nothing, you might as well just sign a
And
trade.
get Kennard.
Reminds me of like the trade the Lakers did to free up cap to bring in AD. And it's like I feel like they're just gonna have to do something like that where they move, like you mentioned, Kennard. They move Rondo. Probably just don't re-sign Reggie Jackson, and that's the only way I see them bringing in Kyle Lowry.
The Clippers, well, Kawhi specifically has a big decision to make, but there's a team that has a big decision to make. The Atlanta Hawks. I mean, I don't know if they have a big decision to make, but they definitely have some decisions to make this offseason.
They have one.
To see how they get better. What do you think that is in the
John
draft?
Collins.
Yeah,
John Collins, okay.
Def.
We've seen the Hawks make this Eastern Conference Finals run, go to 6 with the Milwaukee Bucks, even with Trae Young injured. How bright do you think the Atlanta Hawks' future really is?
Your squad, bro.
They have a big decision to make, whether they're going to bring back John Collins or match whatever contract he gets. We'll see what he's going to get out there, what offers he's going to get out there. But also, they're young players. I mean, you got Onyeka, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, Trae Young, and Kevin Huerter.
Kayvon.
And I know you are very high on Cam Reddish. So I'll let you go first, Riv. Let me know what the Hawks need to do and give me your take on what you expect Cam Reddish to be next season.
Oh, well, for starters, congratulations to Atlanta for making the Eastern Conference Finals. You know, you played your heart out. So shout out to you guys. Even though I did pick the Bucks, I still love you guys, Atlanta. Now, for this team, it's, you know, you got your start off, obviously, a franchise when they're rebuilding and they're going through the process. The first thing is to find gems and find the superstar. You find Trae Young. You got Trae Young. He's your superstar for the future. He's your guy, playmaking point guard. What he showed in this playoff run is that he shines bright when the lights are on him so far. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's what he's shown. He's shown he can carry his team. He can be that leader, and he has big moments that he can do. We've seen it against New York in the Garden, one of the hardest places to play at, especially on the road in a playoff game. He shut it down.
Came crazy.
Yeah, so he's phenomenal. You figured out DeAndre Hunter. He's going to be a really, really good potential all-star and a two-way player. You know, he locks down on the defensive end. He can shoot the ball, and he's starting to get more creation in his offense. So that's a really good step. He's 23 years old. Kevin Huerter, the Red Robin, you know, he picked it up in the playoffs. You know, as a sharp shooter. He's also starting to show that he can create his own. John Collins, he started to pick it up. So you have a lot of young guys who can create their own shot. They're still on rookie deals, you know, so that you still have an opportunity to figure out what's in store. Plus, you have veterans on deals that you can possibly move, or they'll possibly be done by the time these rookie contracts are up. Because I believe Danilo's on now a 3-year deal, if I'm not mistaken.
Danilo.
He's probably on a 2-year. I think he's more on a 2-year, yeah.
Clinton's on like a 2-3 year deal. So, you know, those guys are good complementary pieces to put your team with. Bogdanovich was also really, really good for them. He's definitely good.
And he had a shaky postseason too. He was hurt, but
he
still were winning.
It's funny. It's like Atlanta has good problems. You know, they have too many good players. You know, so it's definitely it's good problems to have too many good players and to figure out. You got your coach who seems to gel with this group of guys. You don't have to rush anything. You have young players. The East is going to be there. You know, you have a team that can compete with any team. They may not beat Brooklyn. They may not beat, you know, or they beat Philly. They may not beat Milwaukee again, but they will compete on a given night in a playoff series. So that's something you always see, and you could just continue to improve. For Cam Reddish, you know, you saw him not play for 6-7 months with a Achilles soreness. You saw him, they threw him in the lineup after Atlanta Twitter was fiending for him to get in over Solomon Hill. They were sick of Solomon Hill. He gets in, you know, he plays phenomenal defense. The next game, they get blown out. Game 6, he comes in and erupts for 21 points. I think he missed like 1-3, and he was just playing great defense, keeping his team in the game with high energy. And you saw the flashes of what you thought you were getting in Cam Reddish, a guy who can create and who can play on the defensive end. And that's what you wanted when you picked Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter, two guys that complement Trae Young on offense and also complementing on defensive end where he can't play D. Those two guys will pick up your best guard, pick up your best forward. And I think that's what they envisioned, and Cam Reddish showed a little bit of that in 3 games. It's still a small sample size. He's still very inconsistent, and he still has to get back in game shape. But so far, so good. And like you said, you don't have to rush the process because you have Bogdanovich, who is a sniper and who can create his own shot. You have the Red Robin and Kevin Huerter, who can create his own shot. I think bringing John Collins back would be the best thing because he is young.
Me too.
And him and Trae Young have good chemistry together, and he's a really good player that can still get better. But I like Atlanta's future, and I think they'll be a top 4 team in about a year or two.
In the NBA?
Yeah, no, in the East.
Well, they were
NBA,
basically
it's
a top
tough.
4 this year.
They're not top
They're
4.
basically top 4 this
They
year.
weren't top 4.
They were 5.
Fully healthy.
You got to stop.
No.
Yeah,
fully healthy. Lakers, Nets, Clippers.
He said the East.
Bucks. No, you said NBA top 5,
You
top
said-
4 NBA.
I asked you NBA, and then you said
I said
no,
East.
the East.
Top 4 in the
Exactly.
East.
You don't think that they're already that?
Healthy Nets, Milwaukee. Oh, you could say that. I mean, you could say that. You could say that.
Right? I think so. Why
Debatable.
not? Definitely.
I thought you meant NBA in general.
Oh,
I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
think so.
Like top 10.
Not yet, at least.
Maybe.
But if you keep this core together, we'll see how it goes. So the future of the Hawks, it couldn't be brighter. Truthfully, you
I like how
have
you started with that.
you look at this roster and how it's constructed. Excuse me. It is perfectly built to compete for a championship for years to come. You look at how they started it. They had John Collins, drafted Trae Young. Did they get Trae
It
Young?
was Collins first, then Young.
No, that's not what I was going to ask. I was going to ask about Capella. Did they get Capella after
They
Trae Young?
they got Capella after Trae Young's season.
Okay.
After Trae Young's second season.
They
They
got
got
him
him,
mid.
they got him midway, but he didn't play.
So they bring in Capella. They bring in Bogey this offseason. I'm pretty sure Hoarder was a draft pick of theirs as well.
I think Hoarder came in with Trae.
Yeah, he did.
And Cam and DeAndre Hunter came in together.
So just the way that they're built and the way that the NBA is headed towards, I feel like it's the perfect storm of what you want out of an NBA team right now. And they took a look at the Warriors' blueprint of how they drafted that team and how they put it together, and they said, you know what, we're going to do our absolute best to try and imitate this the best we can. And I'm not trying to compare the players. I'm just solely trying to compare
the process.
Correct. And I feel as if they couldn't have done a better job. You have Trae Young, who's going to be on this roster for God knows how many years. At least he's going to be there the 6 to 7 that you have to be as your rookie deal. Bogdanovich, he needs to stay healthy because that Trae Young, Bogdanovich, Hoarder shooting combination is absolutely nasty. Then you look at John Collins, who has a potential to be a true star in this league, I believe at least.
I thought you were going to say superstar, bro.
No, because we had that conversation last time. Trae Young's the superstar. John Collins is a potential star in the making. Last season, he averaged 21, took a dip in points this season, 17.6, but they realized we need to let Trae do Trae. And they
hope so.
Not
over John Collins.
Oh, no, I agree.
Not John Collins over him.
No doubt. But then you bring in Bogdanovich. It's going to take less attempts from Collins, but you can't forget about Collins and what he means to the offense too. We see him clean up on the glass. We see what his presence is down low, not being a bigger type dude in size like a 6'10" Giannis or a Ben Simmons. He is a 6'7", 6'8" dude that can just get up there and play bully ball down low too. I just think hearing the comments that he made earlier in the season would concern me, saying that he doesn't like the way that the offense is run around Trae Young and they feel like that's not winning basketball. But I'm glad that he stuck out this season. He gave 100% effort, and he saw that, you know what, we can win with Trae Young running this offense. And that's the only thing that might worry me in sense of him re-signing with the Hawks. But if I'm the Hawks, you need John Collins because that presence down low that can also extend beyond the three-point range is essential. He's a 40% three-point shooter for his career. He's solid. You have guys like Danilo who can knock down the 3-2, who are good with the ball in their hands. Clint Capella, you guys mentioned he's not the best defender in the world, but he's a really good shot blocker. And that, if I'm thinking of the Warriors, they had Kevon Looney hold that role, and Clint Capella is a better Kevon Looney in my opinion, at least. And so I'm just looking at how the Warriors did it, and I'm seeing how the Hawks are doing it right now, and I see a lot of similarities. So the future is really bright for Atlanta, and I really like the trajectory of where they're at.
I'm smiling so much because I've never seen somebody talk about John Collins the way you're talking about John Collins.
John Collins is really good. I mean,
I'll say this.
Hold on, because you just bashed John Collins, and I was still talking. So aside from his first year, 19.5 points.
I know what the stats are.
But then why are you disrespecting him? And he just made the ECF.
Trae Young led them that far.
Okay, obviously, but it's not like he's bad. The way
John Collins isn't bad. I'll say this.
I ain't like how you downplay Looney.
John Collins isn't bad.
But Capella or Looney. I'm not disrespecting Looney. Capella's better.
Why would I compare?
Look, I'll say this.
They're both centers.
John Collins is not bad. He's really good. Do I see multiple-time All-Star in his future? Absolutely not. I don't.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely not. I think when you talk about the Atlanta Hawks and players' ceilings and peaks, it goes Trey, Cam, Hunter.
Yeah.
John Collins isn't even top 3.
That is cap.
He's not.
That's cap.
If I'm Atlanta, John Collins, you can go.
That's a horrible opinion.
No, it's
horrible.
not. Because
horrible.
a team is going to overpay the hell out of John Collins, and he's not going to produce that much.
Bro,
because Trey makes the game so much easier.
I agree, but it's not like he wasn't doing it beforehand.
If I'm with Trey,
he wasn't. He was before Trey. He was playing very well.
Before Trey, he had a good season.
I told you
good
before
rookie
you
year.
said the stats. It's 19.5, 21.6.
Wait.
I'm
John
just saying
Collins-
he's really good.
John Collins has been in the league for 3 years.
4 years.
He was a year
4 years?
before Trey.
4 years. Yes.
Second season, John Collins averaged what?
How many years has this is
This is Trey
Trey's
Young's
Third. So John's fourth.
John Collins' second year was Trey Young's
First,
first.
yes.
That's when John Collins took off in his stats.
You know what? You have a point.
Yes,
Fair enough.
I know because John Collins benefited from Trey Young, as everybody will.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Atlanta, I'm really banking on Cam Reddish taking a huge step next season because to this point he has been disappointing. But I think that's more due to Lloyd Pierce. Nate McMillan is going to instill that confidence and really get him going. Next year's Atlanta Hawks starting lineup should be Trey, Bogey, Cam, Hunter, and Capella.
Hunter can play the 4.
We know how great the small ball lineup works in modern NBA, and I don't even think DeAndre Hunter in this NBA at least he would be a great 4.
Yeah.
You got Hunter and Cam are better defenders than John Collins, so now you have defenders of Cam,
So you're
Hunter,
you said
and
you're taking
Capella.
Cam over Collins.
Defensively,
Okay,
easily.
I'm not saying defensively. I'm saying as an overall player right now,
No,
you
he
want
said
Cam.
peak. He said peak.
You want Cam over Collins.
I'm expecting Cam to take a big jump next season.
We've
With
been
Nate
waiting
McMillan
on that
being
for how long now?
just 2 seasons.
Not even 2. He didn't play this year.
and he's been hurt most of the season.
Don't do that.
Okay, all right.
So-
Go ahead.
THT.
Continue.
And
Hey,
that's why I think
he's
John
good.
Collins, you are already paying Danilo, Bogey, Capella, Trey Young is coming up. Atlanta right now has a really good core that is going to be attractive to a lot of big-time free agents. You can't afford to pay John Collins big-time money and lose out on potential free agent classes where you can bring a star player to Atlanta
Which is the year after next year.
and pair up with Trey Young. So I wouldn't get John Collins, but I wouldn't re-sign John Collins if a team gives him an offer that is great. And I think a team will because they're going to fall in love with the stats just like you drooled over. Just,
I mean, I watch the games. I see what he does.
I know, but I'm just saying, John Collins, at regular season, watching him throughout the year, I didn't see as much as I saw in the playoffs. In the playoffs, everything.
which is all that matters.
No,
I'm gonna tell
I don't
you,
think so.
I watch Atlanta games very, very, very. Because Cam plays. I don't know what you're talking about with John. I don't
What do you
see.
mean?
I don't see what you're so fascinated about. He's
So then, what do you
I think
see that
in the
doesn't
playoffs,
fascinate you?
in the
It's not
playoffs,
that,
when
I
players
said
play
that he
well,
could be a potential star. He could be a potential star.
I think he's
can
going
make
to
one.
be. I think he's going
I'm
to
not
be a
saying
really good player.
all-star. Like you can be like it's like we've seen players in this league not be all-stars and be amazing. Devin
Well,
Booker,
could he be-
he didn't make the original all-star lineup.
Drew,
He's
let me
a
ask
star.
you this. Drew, let me ask you this. Could he be as good to the Hawks to what CJ is to Portland? And CJ's not an all-star.
I think so. I think
Second
so.
best player.
and you
He
think,
was who was their second best player this season?
CJ.
No, we're talking about
No,
Atlanta.
Oh, I'm,
Atlanta.
I'm so sorry.
Who's their second best player?
I think Hunter.
Statistically,
I think Hunter.
All right, right now in the playoffs because they played an entire playoffs without Hunter. Who is their
Bogey.
second best player? That's Cap. He played like trash.
No, he did not.
He did
Sometimes
not play
he
well.
did.
He
Sometimes
did not
he
play well with the knee injury.
I'll give you Collins, but,
Thank
Okay,
you.
Collins
was
That's
the most
easy.
consistent
but I'm
player.
just
And that's
saying.
all that you're
I'm just
looking
saying
for in a
if,
player.
But
if
what's
a
their
player,
ceiling though? If he's their second best player,
We've
like realistically, what's their ceiling if Collins is their second best player?
they just made an ECF with him as their second
yeah, but
best
teams are
player.
going to get better next year.
Come on, bro.
You know
We'll
that.
see.
What do you mean
Are
we'll
they
see?
going to not get better either?
I mean, I think it depends on the matchups they face.
I
in
think
the
for
playoffs,
Atlanta to reach finals peak, their wings have to be their second and third best player.
I just want to say this: Atlanta right now they have one major hole that I see. The major hole is the backup point guard position. You thought it was going to be Rondo, it wasn't
Boys
him.
poop.
Lou Williams, we know he's a scorer primarily.
Chris Dunn was a waste.
Yeah, exactly. I think that at the 20th pick in the draft, if this guy is there, he's a lock for Atlanta to draft him.
What he's gonna say.
That's Jared Butler. I think Jared Butler would be the perfect Atlanta Hawk. He would. I mean, defensive. He's great defensively. He's a really good playmaker. He's a really good shooter. He's mature. He's been in college for a couple years. He can contribute right away. I think he would be the perfect person for Atlanta to target in the draft, and I think he'll be there at pick 20. Maybe they go to Sean Holland and go with scoring.
He's more like Lou, though.
So we'll see. But I think, honestly, I really do think Jared Butler would be great for them.
Yeah.
But like I said, I wouldn't be opposed to them bringing back John Collins if at the right price.
What would be the right price in your opinion? 15?
Yo, for me, like knowing 15, 16? Yes. Okay. I'm not paying John Collins over 20 to 30 20 to 30 range. I'm not paying John Collins that. I'm sorry.
So like 15, 17 range.
And I think with the Hawks right now, their roster, if you have a starting lineup of Trey, Bogey, Cam, Hunter, Capella off the bench,
that's a lot of spacing.
Yeah, off the bench you have Herder, Danilo Gallinari, Jared Butler, Onyeka is gonna make a massive jump, take a massive jump next year. I think they don't need John Collins. I really don't think so.
Malcolm Brogdon makes 20.
He got overpaid.
Gary Harris makes 19.
But Malcolm Brogdon is kind of in the John Collins range, I think.
So
Indiana had to overpay him.
Fred VanVleet makes 21.
Yeah, I can't explain that. I'm gonna just be
Harrison Barnes makes 22.
Yeah, but that's we know those guys are overpaid.
My point is, and they haven't performed in the playoffs. If anyone that I named that's performed in the playoffs is Fred. Exactly.
Malcolm Brogdon averaged 21 and 8 in the playoffs last season.
And what did they do?
I'm just saying, but like, come on, Indiana versus a team that went to the finals.
Agreed. Very true there.
To be fair, Indiana has to overpay players to get them to come to Indiana.
That's also true, but you don't think Atlanta's in a similar situation?
I don't think they.
Now I agree.
Yeah, I don't think. I think maybe before, but right now I don't think they have to overpay
now I
anybody.
agree. Correct.
Atlanta's a perfect hip hop city. I think Atlanta is becoming that big market,
especially with Trae Young there. He's an attractive person to play with.
And Amigos.
I'm with you.
I'm just saying.
Atlanta's cool now.
They got Young Thug, Migos, Lil Baby. Like,
agreed. They're definitely on the trend the right way. And Aaron Gordon. Do you think John Collins is better than Aaron Gordon?
I do.
Offensively,
it's not.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be closed. Like you should have said yes right away.
No,
he makes 18 million.
Let me ask you a question. 2021 free agency is weak. Would you pay John Collins knowing that in 2022 there's a chance that you can possibly get one of the big stars?
I'm not going to say yes because there's obviously huge names 2022.
So why not just let him walk?
But John Collins right now is he not right now going into this offseason one of the better free agents that is available? Excuse me.
All right, top 3, top 4. But that should show how weak the class is.
So wait. If we're including player options,
no, strictly unrestricted.
I mean, he's a restricted free agent.
I was strictly guys. No, I wasn't counting player options.
I mean, Kawhi, Kyle Lowry, Mike Conley.
That's what I think in front of him.
Kyle Lowry, Mike Conley are better. DeRozan is better.
That's about it.
I think Lonzo value-wise, I would. Yeah.
You're saying DeRozan? You'd rather have DeRozan on your team right now than Collins?
He's better than Collins.
I'm not saying he's not better. I'm just saying if you want to sign a contract.
Who would I rather and who's better?
Exactly. Who would you rather?
Questions.
Who would you rather?
Oh, John Collins. But who's better?
But
DeRozan.
John Collins, I'm saying this right now. John Collins is that free agent that a lot of teams are putting a star next to and saying, we can't pay him this. That's just my idea.
I just named a few
players.
I
think a team will overpay him, and I don't think Atlanta's going to match.
I've seen Joe Harris get paid $18 million, and Davis Bertrand get paid about $18
million. And it's like the fact, and he's done it. He's done it for a few seasons in the regular season, but now he's done it when it matters in the playoffs. And you're saying that he's not going to get $20 million?
I don't think he should get $20 million.
$20 million. I just named you players who've got $20 million.
I mean, yeah.
You named me overpaid.
But my point exactly. This guy's better.
And I'm saying he should.
We're just saying if we ran an organization, we're not giving John Collins that.
I'm not saying he's not gonna get
it. You named us Brogdon, VanVleet, and I forgot who else. Harrison Barnes.
Harrison Barnes is
Those
22.
are all guys I wouldn't pay them $20 million either.
Agreed.
I would not pay Fred VanVleet.
Are any of those guys second best players on championship contending teams?
Well, VanVleet was
he was like the sixth man.
The sixth man on the squad.
He was the fourth man.
Siakam, Lowry, Kawhi
was better.
You know what? That's true. VanVleet had moments. I apologize.
And Brogdon
But
plays
Van
for
Vliet
Indiana.
was huge in that
He
championship
was,
run.
but
Yeah.
let's not act like we're going to pay him that much because of that.
I'm with you, but they did pay him that much because of that.
Because they need a successor after Kyle Lowry. That's why they really did it.
Okay.
But Atlanta has players
Atlanta
that
is
can
a
fill
main.
in that
It's a big
Collins
attractive
role.
city.
Who could fill in Collins' role?
DeAndre Hunter.
Athletically?
He's a better defender and he's stronger than John Collins.
He's definitely
He's
a better
faster on his
defender.
feet.
He's
He can
definitely a
move
better
quicker.
defender.
He's a better shooter too.
John Collins is
I
not
didn't
a
say he
bad.
couldn't shoot. I'm just saying DeAndre Hunter is a better shooter. That's all I'm saying. You
it's
got
hard.
3 guys out there that can shoot: Bogey, Cam, Hunter, and 2 guys that can play defense.
It's just that you guys are putting a lot of stock in Cam, and I'm not hating on Cam. I think he definitely has a chance to be a good
That's
player.
why you draft him.
He's just inconsistent. And it's like I've seen it in Collins. He's very consistent. So I would rather the consistent player over someone who, you know what, he could hit 6 threes in a game.
I mean,
But
if
then
anything, Gallinari just plays the 4.
That is true.
And then
But
you
lose the athleticism, and they is that
but
what you really want?
You gain more offense with Gallinari.
Not necessarily. I mean, you could space the floor a little bit more, but then you lose the inside game too. That's why Collins is so good. He has the inside game, and he can pull it out and shoot the ball too.
I don't think the inside game really matters when Atlanta Hawks offense is predicated around high pick and rolls.
Do you expect them to shoot 63s
Yes.
a game?
I mean,
Something
that's what
stupid.
the formula in the NBA to win is doing exactly that.
And they have shooters.
That's how the
everywhere.
Jazz got the first seed this past
I
season.
should have said a number more egregious, like way more egregious. But like my point being is you can't just be that one dimensional. It's not like
That's how Golden State won.
but they weren't one dimensional. They could score. It's not like Curry was strict. And I'm not saying that Trey can't drive to the basket either, but Clay could drive to the basket too. KD could drive to the basket.
Well, I'm talking about Golden State without
the
KD.
drafted ones.
They were also
They
also played defense at a very, very high level.
And that's where Atlanta. That's why I
But
can't
John
compare
Collins
the two.
doesn't make their defense better.
It's not. But you're talking like his defense is bad. It's not.
No,
bad,
it's not bad.
But it doesn't make it.
But his
better.
offense is still good enough, and his athleticism
Agreed.
is so high.
No, but the original point was that you talked about an inside game, but I don't think that matters because I think an inside game is just taken away from Trey's game. That's the reality.
But
of
I
it.
feel like you just don't want to be so one-dimensional in that sense. You understand what I'm trying to say? I feel it's like
I get what you're saying. You want an
I'd
inside outside
rather
game.
that.
I don't think
I'd
that's
rather
the way
that.
they play their offense.
But what I saw from them this postseason was a little bit of both, and that's why they were having success.
This is the thing, though, and this is why obviously we all love the playoffs
For sure.
and they are the best gauge for a lot of people to really view these teams. And I would say the playoffs are where a lot of people watch the majority of their NBA games. And that's why when you watch the playoffs and you just take away what you saw from the playoffs, you miss a lot of the extra stuff. And I think a lot of the extra stuff matters in terms of John Collins.
People forget you have to make the playoffs.
To counteract that, playoff Rondo. It's like we look at him in the regular season, you're not intrigued at all.
Okay,
and that's why people overpay
But are you
him.
going to overpay playoff Rondo? Are you going to overpay?
Did. That's the point.
But are you going to overpay Rondo because of the playoffs? No, you're not.
They did.
Tyler Hero is a perfect example. People overrated the hell out of him because of the playoffs.
I'm with you.
They called him like the next Dwayne Wade, bro. like
that. I mean, I don't know who you were listening to there. Who said
Twitter?
That.
It was on Twitter
Next
everywhere.
Dwayne Wade is
My point was you brought up Rondo. Rondo got overpaid because of that LA run.
Correct.
And it ended up backfiring in that team, and they had to trade him. I'm saying you have to make the playoffs first. Regular season does matter to a point, and if you watch the regular season, then you can figure out what this player is like. Obviously, playoff guys can come out of this shell in the playoffs and have a run. It's 7 games. They can have a magnificent run, but that doesn't mean you overhype the guy or overpay the guy. I'm not saying John Collins isn't worth money. I think he's a cool 15 to 17 mil. But I don't think 20 mil should be in Atlanta. Should pay 20 mil?
15 to 17, bro. I'm looking at the players getting 15, 17.
But wait,
a lot of those are overpaid.
But before you bring up
not even.
But Drew,
it's like Clint Capella's getting 16.
Houston
had to pay him. That's why he got that money.
It's like a no-brainer. I'm taking John Collins.
What I pay Capella $16 million, I guarantee you Atlanta doesn't do that. Again, they're not going to give Capella an extension because they
just gave Gallo 20.
You think that was also dumb. It's like
you think they're gonna do it again and give John 20?
Who's better, Collins or Gallo?
It's not about who's better. It's about thinking out. It's about being smart. Look at their team. They don't need to pay John 20.
It's not like it's not like Danilo meant more to the Hawks this season than Collins.
He was in a start.
But bringing him in brought that veteranship, that leadership for them.
They needed to bring him in.
They needed to bring guys like that in. They had to make that pay. They were one of the teams in the offseason that had to overpay a couple guys.
So now in overpaying,
now that they've got to the success that they're at now, they don't need to overpay anybody because they're an attractive spot now.
So now this is what you're telling me. In them overpaying for Gallo, they now screwed themselves out of John Collins.
Not necessarily because they can overpay him if they want. I just don't think they're going to do it. They know his worth better than we do.
I honestly
like
believe
they will.
Okay, we will see what happens. If I was running an organization, I wouldn't do it.
Travis ain't doing that, man.
And me being a Knicks fan, before the season, there were talks of us maybe going after John Collins. I didn't want that because I know John Collins
you guys are
is
gonna
not.
overpay
Is
RJ,
not.
so.
I don't think we should overpay him. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're gonna overpay
like,
RJ.
for example, can John Collins be as good as Julius Randle?
Julius Randle's career high before this season was what?
No, I'm just asking you
I'm
a
asking
question.
you
He asked a question. It's his question. He asked you a question.
I mean, it's a yes or no question.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to go over the stats.
Repeat the question.
You want him to repeat the
stats,
question?
It's like
answers
Because
he was successful.
I know the stats. I just don't want to keep going over the stats.
He wants to go eye test for eye test.
Okay.
All right, you're
Julius
asking me
Randle, as the best player on the team, led the Knicks to the playoffs.
Okay.
And got smoked out.
Can John Collins do that?
Yes. Because it's not like Julius Randle really did anything come
25,
playoff time
10, and
either
5.
way.
You think John can do that?
He averaged 21.6 already. I've seen him average 21.
They sucked
and he
that
wasn't
year.
even the guy.
They sucked
He wasn't
that year.
even the guy.
Okay, wait.
He
So
averaged
okay,
21.6.
hold on, Joel. Wait. John Collins plugs in to the Knicks. They were one of the best defensive teams in the league. Granted, Julius Randle plays very good defense.
Julius Randle's defense is better than
but offensively,
his.
they were one of the worst. And Julius had to carry that offense to the playoffs.
Exactly, and he's a better offensive player than Randle is.
Julius had to be one of their best
No,
playmakers.
No, he's not.
Hold on, Joel.
Yes, he is.
No, hold on, Joel. Julius had to be one of the best playmakers. He had to be one of the best offensive initiators.
I understand.
You think John, whose game, I've watched him in college, whose game is really a power forward's game. Julius more of a hybrid. He's more of a hybrid. He's more of a hybrid. That's why he brings the ball up sometimes.
Well,
John
because
doesn't.
who else is really going to take up the ball on that court?
If you can't do it, you can't do it. John can't do it. It's just John
debatable.
can't.
Debatable.
John can't. You think John can do
Collins
that?
is
So, question:
the
who's
pick
a
and
better
roll
shooter,
player.
John Collins or Julius Randle?
I'll take.
Like, why are we hesitating?
This is not
Why are we
easy.
hesitating?
Spot up John Collins off the dribble. Julius Randle.
Thank you. Julius takes better. He's a better shot taker.
It's
No,
like
sorry.
I saw it
He hits
against the
harder
Hawks.
shots.
I saw it against the
That's
Hawks.
the thing I'm saying though. Like
But
you
it's like-
gauged Randle's entire value off the series, bro.
Bro, he put up 25, 10, and
When
5.
it matters
Only Larry
most-
Bird has done that.
Larry
he was
Bird.
I'm not saying Julius Randle didn't have an
think John could
all-time
do that?
great ceiling.
25, 10. Like, honestly, you think John does?
John is not the ball handler Julius is.
He's not even their number 2 scorer.
John is not the.
On last season, John Collins averaged 21.6 and 10 rebounds. You're asking me if he could do 25 and
about
10.
this year.
He could.
25 and 10? Being the number 1 option?
He could.
Being the number 1 option?
Yes.
On a team that has no other
Yeah,
options.
because, bro, what happened when he needed to be the number 1 option in the playoffs? He couldn't do it because he had no help. It doesn't matter. In the regular season,
Bro,
you're
John
asking me if he
Collins
could do
wasn't
this.
even the second
Yes.
option on his team.
When?
This year.
Who's the second option?
It was
You're gonna say
Trey
Bogey?
Yes, the shooter was the
He
second
averaged
option.
17.6.
Wait,
Yeah,
is
he
John
did.
Collins-
He did, but he wasn't the second
Is John
option.
Collins the passer Randle is?
No.
Not even close.
No.
Not even close.
He's not the
Defender
contested
either.
shot maker. He's not the mid-range shooter.
You're asking
Randle
me
is.
if he could average 25 and 10. I think so. Do I think he's a better passer than Julius Randle?
Randle
No.
averaged 25, 10, and
You have
6.
to add that
I'm
into
with
it.
you.
Like
I'm
he
with
was
you.
one of their
Yes,
playmakers
he was
too.
very good.
He was literally
definitely,
our
And he
he
has
was
to play
basically our point
defense
guard.
on the under end at a Tom Thibodeau level.
Agreed. But you're saying that Collins wouldn't give all. Like, it's not like we've already established he's not a bad defender. He's not. He's undersized at his position. Randle's
he's
a
6'10".
bigger dude.
He's tall. He's 6'10".
He's 6'9". I
They're
mean,
the
it's
same
not
height.
6'10".
I mean, out of
Julius,
college, he
how
was
tall-
measured 6'10". With shoes on, he's 6'10".
Okay.
They're the same height.
Regardless of that point,
Randle is
he's
6'8".
more.
He's so much bigger.
And he's more, in my opinion, he's a little bit more athletic than Julius Randle is.
Yeah.
Julius Randle is the body. That's why he's as dominant as he is. His passing is what separates the two. I just think you're asking.
I think his tough shot making is also what separates the two.
I think Collins also can make some tough shots.
I think it's easy to say
He's
that
all
when Trey
he's
Young
got
is
it.
his
All
point
he's
guard.
gotten is good looks in Atlanta.
Yo,
That's all he's
your
got.
stock into John is crazy.
I guess so, because the way that you guys keep drilling me with questions, I'm gonna.
Do you
keep
want him to go
saying-
to the Lakers?
If he came to the Lakers, that'd be lit. Bro.
I knew it.
What's wrong with that? Yeah. It's like if Kyle Lowry came to the Lakers, I'd be lit. If Russell Westbrook came to the Lakers, I'd be lit.
I don't see. John Collins is a good player. I really liked him in Wake Forest. He was cool. Demon Deacons.
It's not like I'm saying he's a superstar Hall of Famer.
I don't think neither of them are superstar Hall of Famers.
All I'm saying is,
but I just think
my initial point with John Collins was potential star.
No, you're right. You didn't say he's a superstar Hall of Famer. You said he's second team All NBA, which is what Julius Randle was this past season.
Well, talk to him.
All right, you got me there.
Yeah,
you got me there. But then
I just think trade makes everybody's job a lot easier. You're forgetting that Julius Randle had no Trae Young. He had no Bogey. He had no Clint Capella.
For his career.
For life. Well, no, he had Mirotic in that team.
Wait, come on. We're talking about point guard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Holiday was on his team.
That's not Trae Young. He's a scoring guard. He's a scoring guard.
No, he's not Trae.
Yeah, obviously, he's not.
He's not a. He's a.
No,
he's a scoring guard.
But he's not even close to the playmaker though.
Yeah, not even close. I'm saying he doesn't have all that. He was stuck with Elfrid Payton. No offense, R.J. Barrett, Reggie Bullock, who only shoots when he's open. Nerlens Noel. Look at the spacing.
He definitely played out of his mind. I'm not taking anything away from him.
And they went to the playoffs.
But you guys are talking.
They were fourth. They were higher than the Hawks. Not saying they're better. They were higher than the Hawks. Oh, no, I knew they were. But they were higher than the Hawks. They were a fourth seed team. And they had one scoring. They had one scoring option. Atlanta has about 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. And in a regular season where people take it easy,
you have to make the playoffs.
We've seen a John Collins best player on the Atlanta-led team, and I don't think he was the best player on the team.
You were just talking about how rookie year doesn't matter. Easy, Jesus.
He wasn't even the best player there, though.
I don't think so.
He wasn't.
What do you got? Won 25 games, 26.
Which one are you talking?
His rookie year.
You guys, aren't you the Hawks fan?
Well, you're a John Collins guy.
So I guess me and him, right?
We've been going on this topic for way too long.
He loves John Collins.
You guys kept saying, "Do you think John Collins is this? Do you think John Collins is that?" I'm gonna keep answering the questions.
Fans started trolling Giannis at the free throw line.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. We're gonna move on to the next subject matter in this episode, NFL, and we're already 2 hours in. It's been I think that 20-minute fast food conversation deterred us on our path.
And that guy also said, "I wish it was longer." Hey. There you go. You want it longer.
We're talking about John Collins for 30 minutes.
That's on y'all. That is on y'all.
Now, no, because you were hyping him up in your Atlanta Hawks.
Not even. I said he was a potential star. You guys dragged
Hawks fans gonna love you.
Hey, I hope so.
Okay, so NFL best available free agents. I want you guys to name a few of the NFL best available free agents. For me, the ones that come to mind are Richard Sherman and David DeCastro, but what's surprising to me is that Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley are free agents. Both guys that were at the top of the running back world just a couple seasons ago have totally vanished from humanity in the NFL world. Pretty sad, but Richard Sherman, I think Raiders would be a good fit.
He said he doesn't mind the Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks. If he were to go to the Seahawks, that would be amazing. Cowboys, I would love him on the Jets.
That'd be
cool. Need some
awesome.
Veteran cornerback.
Is there a reason why he hasn't been signed yet?
Probably just wants money.
Knowing Richard Sherman is probably best fit plus money. Knowing he's a meticulous guy.
Okay.
He wants to go to the team with the best fit.
Very good choice of words.
So I'll say, I think
we all are gonna have the same.
So mine, I have Steven Nelson. Surprised you didn't mention him. I feel like Dallas would be a really good spot just because they really didn't do too much to help their secondary. They got Keanu Neal, but he's been injury prone in the past, so I'm not too trusting on him. What are you laughing at me for?
Man, I'm just this John Collins thing was funny, bro.
It was funny, and you know what? I'm probably gonna get bashed for saying that Julius Randle stuff, but you know what? It's not like Julius Randle did too much come playoff time when they really.
Well, he made an All-NBA second team, and AD made nothing. So
okay. I don't think you'll get bashed because this won't get clipped. I'm only gonna clip the part that we talk a little bit about Atlanta.
Really? Clip the whole thing. We talked about the Hawks the entire time.
If we clip the whole thing, it's going to be like a 25-minute
That's a fact. We did talk a lot.
So I usually like to keep the clips below 15. If
enough.
I need to get everything in there, I'll do the whole thing. But
enough.
If it's I think a bunch of the John Collins conversation was just a blur.
So I hope the full podcast listeners comment on it and let me know if I'm crazy or not.
Let me ask you a question, Joel, because you said you would love Sherman to the Jets. You think that would be a solid fit? You're the football guru here.
Yeah, our coach is Robert Saleh. We're going to run the same scheme that he played in San Francisco.
And you need that defensive leadership,
right?
Especially when Mosley's been out and he really quit on them last season by sitting out too. I understand.
I wouldn't say that.
He kind of quit on him.
He had a daughter.
You guys still had...
Yeah. And then I apologize.
Hold on, wait.
I thought the same thing, bro. That's why...
Wait. So because he had a daughter? He stopped working?
No. His daughter must have had pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
That's like Damian Williams on the Chiefs. He sat out because his family also had.
Got it. Just had to make. And you guys still have Brian Poole. No, he's gone? Jesus Christ, you guys are garbage.
He's a free agent too. Which is a good free agent.
DeCastro you mentioned, I feel like he's still a free agent. Well, one, he just got released, and two, I feel like people
He got released like a month ago.
No. Like I want to say 2 weeks max.
I felt like this month. It felt like a month
But
ago.
I feel like people are worried about that ankle, and like I'm the Broncos, I want us to go after him, but I just feel like that ankle injury is gonna weigh too heavily on their minds, especially because of how good he is. I feel like the money is going to be an issue, and he's going to have to take less. So, with that being said, I have Russell Okung as one of my top free agents.
Russell Okung, yeah.
Yep. And then I have Melvin Ingram. And I feel like Melvin Ingram would be a solid pickup for any team because I feel like you're going to get him at a discount, and he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder because the Chargers basically said, you know what, we're going to ride with Joey Bosa and put whoever on the opposite side, and they're going to have success. True. Very true. They just drafted him, or was that last season?
He was a rookie 2 seasons ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So regardless of that fact, it's not like Melvin Ingram is a scrub by any means. And you look at, I don't want to say the Jets because I feel like you guys, your money situation.
We could.
You
get
could put
him.
it.
We have,
You
we
could.
Have cap.
But I'm
you guys
just
still
saying
have cap left?
You could put it elsewhere, and I feel like you don't desperately need a defensive
I think we
end.
need corner.
Yeah,
We
and
need
that's
corner.
where I feel like Steven Nelson would be a good signing for you guys. I feel like you mentioned, Sherman would be a really good signing for you guys. If you guys did just sign Moses,
Morgan Moses.
Morgan Moses,
Yeah.
and that was a very, very great signing. So it's like you don't need Okung, but like you definitely could use a little bit of O-line help.
I'm looking at these free agent lists, and it's crazy how we're sitting here in 2021 and Kawan Short and Geno Atkins are not picked up. These are guys that were at the top of the defensive tackle positions just 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Geno Atkins was like a 93 overall.
NFL moves so fast, man. Like,
And you mentioned Le'Veon and Todd
year to
Gurley.
year.
That's
Yeah.
another thing.
Todd
You're right.
Gurley was
the
just-
money,
Justin
the-
Houston
the
is
money
free
has
agent.
to be the thing.
Todd Gurley was just at the Super Bowl.
Everson Griffin too.
That Todd Gurley actually breaks my heart. In my opinion, that's our generation's Bo Jackson.
Well, that was dumb.
That's
I'm just playing.
Come on, bro. Todd Gurley is so versatile
Nah, he
on
was
that
so-
football field,
he's a
bro.
beast. He's
Like
a
he's
beast.
unbelievable. Bo Jackson is 3 times the athlete that Todd Gurley was. I just mean the fact that his body failed him so young into his career. It's a shame we couldn't see him really have a full AP-esque type career.
I mean, he tore his ACL in college.
Yeah, and then
Did he really?
Yeah,
he came into the league already hurt.
and then the arthritis just kept
Sounds like
on.
Brandon Roy.
He is. That's what I'm saying.
Because
Dude,
Brandon Roy was hurt in college. Knees was messed up. Came into the league. Knees just died.
the guest we're having on Thursday actually said that Bo Jackson is his favorite, the best athlete of all time, and he said that he
okay.
did
Like
he
all
did,
time.
he's the best athlete ever. And he said that that football was a side gig of his, and that that baseball was his thing. So it's like obviously I recognize Bo being a savage in all sorts of when it comes to being an athlete, but Todd Gurley, it's just so sad that he was versatile. He could catch the ball, he could run the ball better than 99% of the league. I feel like the only one I would put above him would be Le'Veon when he was in his prime. Other than that,
What about AP in his prime?
I mean, at the time.
Oh, sorry.
At the time, AP, you have Barry
Pardon
Sanders.
me.
In
Yeah,
my
pardon
no, you're
me.
good, bro. In my opinion, you got Barry Sanders. You got AP right under him. That's a hot take to some, but I love AP that much.
So what's the good spots for David DeCastro?
You could
That's a
say
good
Cincinnati,
question.
Minnesota, the
Yep.
Jets. Any team that is guard needy pretty much could use David DeCastro.
Packers wouldn't be a bad one.
Yeah. I mean, Packers, I think, actually, I was going to say N'Keal Harry for them.
Okay, okay.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. N'Keal Harry for them. But, yeah, I mean, these are the best available free agents. I think we named a lot of them.
Definitely.
I think we can move on to the next subject
With it.
because this is getting played out and boring. I'm tired of talking about these free agent guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're boring names. That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah, except for like Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell, but now they're boring names.
Correct.
Definitely 2 years later after their
Yeah,
prime.
Le'Veon washed. Like,
We
You guys
haven't-
watched him.
We haven't talked about the Chargers in a while, and the Chargers make
not
up
so funny.
a majority of our fan base. You know,
True.
when we got to 1,000 subscribers at first on YouTube, it was because one of our Chargers segments on Justin Herbert blew up, right? So it's only right we put in a Chargers topic here and talk about the Chargers because there are two questions I want to ask, and I know this topic was originally one question, but I want this to be the second one.
Wow.
So, Joe Lombardi, offensive coordinator for the Chargers, new offensive coordinator for the Chargers, he's predicting a big year for Mike Williams, and he said, I think that there will be some natural production that comes his way because of the nature of the offense. They're going to run a similar system to New Orleans and what Sean Payton ran, and Michael Thomas in that system was the X receiver. Joe Lombardi has said Mike Williams will be the X receiver, which means he's going to be like the number one guy that they go to.
Is going to be like
I think he'll be the slot.
Sanders, like the slot receiver.
I think he'll play more of the slot, or maybe I think it's the X and Y, right? So he'll probably be the Y.
Okay.
Joe Lombardi also said, I see a big role for him, and he added this also. If I were a betting man, I'd bet on nice numbers coming from him on the stats sheet, that's for sure. So my first question to you guys is, do you think Mike Williams is going to have a breakout season? Last time he had 1,000 yards receiving was in 2019. He had 1,001, barely cracked it. And also, Justin Herbert had an amazing rookie season. And I've been seeing these takes on the internet lately that are saying that Herbert is going to regress in his second season because his numbers under pressure and how great he was under pressure is unsustainable. So my second question is, do you think Herbert is going to regress in the second season as well?
Okay, the first question, I think Mike Williams will have a breakout season. Dude, asking two questions. I think because when you look at the system, you look at his size. You know, Mike Williams is a big receiver, big hands. He's strong. He can jump with the best of them. I think, you know, I had to last night go dig up some Mike Williams highlights to see what he was really about. He's really a guy who can really jump up and get it. So I think with Justin Herbert being as elite as he is, putting Mike Williams in a great position to succeed, I definitely think he can do it. He has the ability to do it, just has to stay healthy, stay on the field, and make the catches. As on to the second question, it really depends on what we say is the digression for Justin Herbert. I think if he has an efficient season and he throws less touchdowns, but he throws less interceptions, people are going to look at it as he digress. But I think depending on how the season plays out, you know, if they make the playoffs, but his stats aren't as alarming, you know, because rookie year, he put up some amazing record-breaking stats, so it's hard to sometimes replicate that in year two, but it doesn't mean you necessarily digress as a player.
Regress.
So I think, sorry, you my guy, bro.
That's why I was talking about the reviews and the big words, man.
Yeah. But yeah, like to regress as a player. So I think just looking at the season and the way they go out throughout the season, I think if he just performs as well as he performs and they make the playoffs, I don't think you could say he regressed depending on the numbers. But like I said, it all depends and it all varies. But I don't think he would, because I think he was just so dominant his rookie year. But he showed that he's literally here to stay. And with the offense being as good as it is and their new offensive coordinator, I think he's gonna honestly he might do better than what he did last year because he's just that great.
So if Mike Williams doesn't break out this year, then when is he? Truthfully, I mean, this is going to be his fifth year in the NFL. Year one, I wouldn't say it counts. I mean, he only started one game, really didn't get that much burn. But year two, played 16, only started 5. Year 3, played 15, started 15.
So year 3 is when it really...
Year 3, he actually got his recognition, at least on the Chargers. And I'm pretty sure Keenan Allen missed some time in that year too. But regardless of that fact, has 1,001 yards in 2019. In 2020, has almost 400 less yards with a significantly better QB. And do I understand that Keenan Allen is the number 1 on that squad? Of course I do. But that being said, it's not like Mike Williams was projected to be a bum. He was the number 7 overall pick in I want to say it's 2017.
He was supposed to be what DeAndre Hopkins became.
He's a Clemson guy.
Correct. I mean, listen, Clemson wide receiver you. That being said, he's been underwhelming for his career. And I look at a guy like Calvin Ridley, who was taken later in the first round, and he's already surpassed anything that Mike Williams has done in his career. Mike Williams had a 10 touchdown season in 2018, but then had 2 the following year when he had over 1,000 yards. Then he had 5 this past season. And you have Herbie, who is the best. I mean, Rivers was amazing, but this is the best QB that he's going to play with for a long time. And to go to your question about Herbert regress.
Did you call him Herbie?
Herbie.
A lot of Chargers fans call him
Really?
that. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's lit.
Mad funny.
That's lit.
Herbie.
You mentioned how it's unsustainable to keep up the numbers that he had when under pressure.
That's the argument. Yep.
And then you look at who they picked up. Corey Linsley, they just got from the Packers. They picked up
Matt Fowler from the Steelers.
Rashawn Slater in the first round this year. And it's not like they didn't do things to address that line. What they did was protect Herbert so he can actually have time to make throws. And that's going to only benefit his game more. So if anything, it's possible we see an increase in his stats. I mean, he had 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. There's no reason he can't throw for 46 and 35. He's only going to get better.
If the run game is as effective as I think it could be, I think Herbert's stats would be more along the lines of like 4K yards, definitely, but more so like
30 and 8?
30 touchdowns, maybe 7, 8 interceptions. If he's really slinging it, then maybe 36 touchdowns and a little bit more interceptions.
One thing I'll say to that, too, is where I agree with that point, Eckler is also a really, really great receiving back also.
Yeah, exactly.
And so Herbie has so many different looks is that you lose Hunter Henry, which hurts.
But they got Jared Cook.
You get Jared Cook. You have Mike Williams, who the Chargers are actually looking at to be a true number 2 receiver on their squad. And it's like if Mike Williams doesn't take this leap, you let him go. You have to let him go.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
agree.
you have Godwin who has shown out in less time than Mike Williams. You have Ridley, like I was mentioning, who has significantly outperformed Mike Williams up until this point. And then you have Keenan Allen to the opposite side. And obviously Keenan Allen is one of the better receivers in the league, one of the more underrated players in the NFL. And it's like, how could you think that he's going to regress when this team's only improved in their one spot that they really needed to? So I think it's going to be an interesting year for the Chargers for sure.
So in 2019, Mike Williams had 1,001 yards
on
49 receptions, and he had pretty much 20 yards per reception. In 2020, he had 756 yards and had 48 receptions. So he had one less reception than in 2019 and had 350 fewer yards. Mike Williams, first of all, has to stay healthy consistently because last year he was in and out. He did play 15 games. He only started 11 because he was in and out with injuries, and he often left games because he was hurt. But you're right. I think this argument that people are making against Herbert regressing is kind of ludicrous. I can understand it because he was so great under pressure. I mean, Justin Herbert had a 99.4 passer rating under pressure, which is phenomenal. Which means that, this guy under pressure was throwing dimes. But he also had a 97.7 quarterback rating when kept clean. So that tells me that when he has a good pocket, he's still great. It's not like he's great under pressure and horrible with the clean pocket. Then there's cause for concern. But he was good with the clean pocket. Now he's going to have a cleaner pocket with better offensive linemen. And throwing these passes under pressure were absolute dimes. You look at Tampa Bay when he was blitzed. They sent the house and he just floated that one up. I forgot who it was, but he just floated that one up.
Yep.
We've seen him throw dimes to Jalen Guyton on Monday Night Football against the Saints. He was throwing absolute dimes under pressure. If he regresses, I don't think he's going to regress to the level of a Herbert rookie of a Baker rookie year to Baker second year.
Right.
Okay.
That was a true regression.
I'm with you there. That's a good.
I don't think Herbert is going to go from 30 touchdowns, 4,000 yards to 18 touchdowns, 3,000 yards. I don't think that. I think if he regresses, it's going to be like 28 touchdowns, 3,800 yards, which is still a phenomenal quarterback season.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson finished with the 97.7 quarterback rating under pressure his first full year as a starter in 2019. In 2020, that rating under pressure dropped to 79.2.
Damn.
But in 2020, he won an MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2019. Yeah, okay. 20. His first full year as a starter. Okay, 2019 was MVP season.
Talking about Lamar, correct?
Yeah, so this past year was his quote-unquote regression, and Lamar still had a fantastic season.
No doubt.
Deshaun Watson led the league in under pressure passing rating in his first full season as a starter in 2018 at 88.2. That dropped to 76.6 in 2019.
Still a good year.
Deshaun Watson still had a great year. So even if that number drops for Justin Herbert, he's still going to have a phenomenal year. And the difference between Herbert and Watson is that Watson has always had a horrible offensive line.
Correct.
He's never been kept clean. Herbert, that's going to change this season. Lamar Jackson has always had a great offensive line, but the dip in his numbers can be attributed to that run-heavy offense.
And lack of weapons.
Exactly. With Justin Herbert, that's not a problem. He's going to have weapons on the outside and Allen Williams. That wide receiver number 3 is still yet to be seen, but Jared Cook, good at tight end, and Austin Eckler, like, he'll be fine. He has weapons in bunches. Yeah, maybe N'Keal Harry. He has weapons in bunches, so I don't think Herbert will regress. And now to the first question with Mike Williams. I think Mike Williams can have a breakout year in terms of just having 1K plus yards. I think he'll have a great season, not a breakout year because I know who Williams is as a receiver. I think he'll have 1K yards if he stays healthy because he's going to be that X receiver and he's going to get a lot of targets. And Justin Herbert likes to throw a lot of jump balls. And last season, I don't know why, but there were a lot of times where the Chargers were in the red zone and they didn't target Mike Williams in the red zone that often. They went to other options like Donald Parham. Like, they went to the most absurd options when you have a 6'5" guy in Williams. So I think,
dude.
And now there's very few people. I will give Mike Williams his credit. There are few people in the NFL better at the jump ball than Mike Williams.
Yeah, so when you take that into consideration, I think that Justin Herbert, in the nature of this offense, Mike Williams will have a better year than last year. I think he'll have 1K yards. And I don't think Herbert is going to regress the way that people are trying to make it seem like.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he's gonna go from Baker year 1 to Baker year 2. If anything, it's Lamar first few years as starter to Lamar in 2020. It's not gonna be huge.
Dude, I'm watching these Herbert highlights. The throws he can make on the run. I've seen maybe Rodgers do this, Russ, Mahomes. That's it. These throws are right on the money every time.
You really watch highlights?
Yeah, I am. Mike Williams just caught a touchdown, ironically. Oh, my God. No,
so you think the
dude's
Chargers
special.
make the playoffs?
I was just about to ask you that.
The hard thing about it is that I just don't trust the defense.
PFF ranks them as the 20th best roster in the NFL.
As a whole, I completely understand.
That's a tough division
I kind
right
of
now.
disagree with that, though.
It's just that I would disagree if I could trust that Derwin's going to play a full 17. If you could tell me right now Derwin will play a full 17, they will easily surpass that 20th ranking by far because you need that secondary help, especially with how versatile he is. He could play corner against the number 1 receiver on the opposing team, or he could go play safety and be that killer.
Barring health, where you got them?
Barring health, they can make a 7th seed.
I think that they're not going to beat Kansas City, I think.
No way.
You know, I think Kansas City is a lot to be the best team in the AFC West. Because of that, I think my prediction for them is I think I have them at 11-6 or 10-7, one of those. Okay. But I have them making the playoffs.
I think
the division's going to be tough this year.
The conference is going to be
for sure.
Tough.
But that's what I'm saying. Our division is very good.
Oh, you guys aren't that good.
He's a Broncos fan, by the way.
They know. They know. No, I'm just kidding, obviously. But we're obviously going to talk about the Broncos in a few, so I'll wait.
Let me think. Yeah, I got them making the playoffs.
What seed?
Same with yours.
7?
What did you do that changed that, made you
I had to just like quickly throw in my head who I feel like is better than them.
You did it in like
it's
2
like
seconds.
If you want to look at the AFC, Chiefs, Browns, Ravens, Bills,
Patriots.
They could make the wild card. So yes,
Miami.
I like Miami over New England personally.
I like the Chargers over Miami.
Hard. This is where it gets tough.
Forgot the Titans,
Jets.
Colts.
I think Titans are there. Sorry, bro. I'm not going to throw in your Jets. No disrespect.
You said the Jets?
Sorry, bro. And then Broncos, Chargers.
How do you say all those before the Colts?
Then I'm gonna take away
your team out.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that.
You're annoying.
Ooh, you're right about that.
I am.
You're right about that.
Take your team out.
No. You're right about the squad you named. Definitely not taking the Broncos out. Oh, it's gonna be. It should be close. That's 7. I'm telling you, they're gonna fight for the 7.
It's gonna get wild in the AFC.
For real. AFC is a lot better than it has been in previous years.
The Jets making it? You said?
No, they're not. Yeah, I'm just joking.
Not the worst team in the league, though.
No,
it's us.
Yes.
It's 100% us.
So N'Keal Harry,
I think we're ranked. Are we ranked?
His agent just requested the Patriots to trade him because, I mean, if you look at N'Keal Harry's first 2 years in the league, he's been awful. I mean, his career, like last year, he had 300 yards receiving, and he started most of the games. There was a report that came out that said N'Keal Harry is in danger of even making the 53-man roster.
Oh,
yeah, bro, it's crazy.
God.
It's crazy.
This is a guy who was drafted in the first round, and let's just throw out some potential trade packages. I don't know if any team is going to trade anything for N'Keal Harry. He might just be released. But what team can benefit from N'Keal Harry being on their roster next season?
Can I ask you a serious question? If they just said he might not make a 53-man roster, what team could honestly benefit from him?
You trade like a conditional 7th-round pick, you probably could get him.
I mean, he was good out of college. I think any team that's trading for him is under the assumption that New England can't develop receivers. And that's why you take the chance.
Do we believe in that, though?
Yeah. I mean, you look at the track record,
right.
Yeah, you probably do believe it. Yeah.
I guess because Brady. No, the issue is that Brady made a lot of these guys. Brady made Welker who he is. Brady made Edelman who he is.
But Welker was good in Miami.
He wasn't what he was, obviously, in New England.
He was not a scrub, though.
Did Brady really
I would say he
Edelman?
was average, if anything.
I would go more like Chris Hogan.
Yeah, did Brady really make Edelman?
No doubt about it, he made Edelman.
Think so?
Because Edelman was a practice squad. He was a quarterback. He played quarterback in college.
And then he worked his way up. You think Brady got better to work his way up?
There's no doubt in my mind. Brady realized that this dude had potential and said, we're going to work out every single day, and you're going to be amazing. There's no doubt in my mind that Brady did that. But you're right. Their wide receiver development has been very poor. Very poor. But it's because, I mean, if anything, I give credit to Brady with a lot of those. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, like I think the receiver development has been bad. That's why they went out and got Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar.
Yep. Both Hunter Henry and John Smith.
I mean, man, their receiver development has been really bad. Mm-hmm. And I have a couple teams he could go to. First of them is the Minnesota Vikings. They need a receiver 3. But do you slot Jefferson or Thielen at the slot? I'm not sure because N'Keal can't play the slot. He has to be an outside receiver.
Thielen could play the slot and
he could.
Very good at it.
Thielen is dumb now.
Right now, the Vikings have Chad Beebe, who's their third receiver, and Amir Smith-Marset, who just got drafted by them. I'm actually high on Amir Smith-Marset. But N'Keal Harry, maybe he can go there. You have the Chargers, but I don't think N'Keal Harry's better than Jalen Guyton or Johnson right now.
Okay.
And the Falcons...
They need a 2 and a 3.
A team put out this list.
Pitts is going to be the 2.
A team said that N'Keal Harry would be good on the Falcons because Arthur Smith likes to run the ball, and they don't have a good offensive line to run the ball. But N'Keal Harry could be a good run blocker for them, a good body, so that could help them.
Okay.
The Texans as well, but they have Brandon Cooks, Kiki Kute, Randall Cobb, Nico Collins, who they just drafted. Yeah, and then you look at the Packers. I'm not sure if he's better than Alan Lazard.
No way.
And N'Keal Harry, I think if any team does get him, they're hoping he is at least Alan Lazard because they have the same body type.
Yep.
He should be as good as better than Alan Lazard.
Definitely should be better.
He should be better.
Definitely should be.
So you look at the Packers, Devontae Adams,
right?
Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and Alan Lazard. Where does N'Keal Harry fit there?
Where does he fit anywhere? That's what it sounds like to me.
The thing about MVS, I know you're a little bit higher on MVS than I am.
I think he's better than Lazard.
He might be better than Lazard, but it's because of his speed. If MVS wasn't fast, he would not be as good. But obviously, that's the part of his game for sure. His route running's not as clean. He's a deep ball threat, and that's just what he is. So that's why I'm not too sold on him. I've seen him fold under pressure. He's liable to drop a few balls.
Yeah,
but
he doesn't catch a lot.
He is very good when it comes to being a deep threat. So if I'm looking at teams that I'm interested in him going to, I could look at the Rams. I feel like you lose Josh Reynolds. Was it Reynolds? I'm sorry. I think it was Reynolds. Reynolds went to Seattle. Seattle.
Josh Reynolds went to Tennessee.
So then who?
Gerald Everett.
That's who I'm thinking of. It's 100%. So I'm looking at the Rams, and I think, you know what? They have Kupp. They have Woods. He wouldn't be a bad number 3 there. There's not many teams. I look at the Eagles. They probably could use some wide receiver help, too. They did just get Devonta Smith. They have a young... You don't think you need a wide receiver? You guys need weapons.
Jalen Reagor, Devontae Smith.
Jalen Reagor, Devonta Smith.
Wait, is N'Keal Harry an upgrade over J.J. Arcega-Whiteside?
Yes.
You think so?
I do think so. Arcega-Whiteside has no business being on a football field.
Receiver.
Arcega.
Smith, Fulgham, Reagor.
Fulgham, that's a good name, and I don't think that N'Keal Harry's better than Fulgham.
Is N'Keal better than any of those 3? Fulgham, Smith. He's not better than Smith, so I
don't think so. No.
Yeah,
he's not.
That's what I'm saying. There's not many teams he could go to. I mean, I said it before this. I said, what's the point of really talking about
N'Keal? Be fighting minutes.
What's the point?
He'll probably be fighting minutes with John Hightower.
I don't even know who that is. My point, it's like, dude,
exactly.
N'Keal Harry has himself down so bad.
Wasn't Cam talking like really high of him? Is that him?
On I Am Athlete, he said that.
He didn't talk high on him. He just said he's young. That's what he really said. He was like, he's young, man. He's young.
Nah, he said N'Keal could be like that.
Yeah, he said something.
He said N'Keal could be like that.
I think he's saying he's like no, he's the goods.
If you haven't seen that I Am Athlete episode, 100%.
He's like he's the goods. They was clowning his receipts. Like no, he's the one. I was like, oh.
He's like, no boy.
Yeah.
That's what they.
So there's not many teams that I'm interested in.
But Cam is going to say that, though, because he's the quarterback, you're the leader of the team.
You wouldn't say your boy's the good. You just be like, he's young.
Well, they said, yo, keep it a stack. Do you have a receiver on that squad that you could really trust? He said, that boy N'Keal's good.
No, boy.
He capped. He capped.
Nah, you know what I think it is? I think it's Cam knowing that N'Keal already is having problems with his confidence.
Yep.
And he has to say something like that to get his confidence going because
he must see something in him.
It's like
he's 6'4", 215.
Jacoby Myers outperformed him. It's like that should not happen at all.
The nearest bird, I think.
Yep.
He outperformed him. That's crazy.
Boy's doodoo.
Yeah, no, he's not good.
So now on to the last segment of the podcast. We are going to be reacting to PFF's top 10 rosters in the NFL. And I'm going to talk about 1 through 10 right now. Just going to list them out.
All right, cool.
1 is Tampa Bay.
We all agree.
2, Kansas City.
Cool.
3, Cleveland. 4, Buffalo. 5, Baltimore. 6, Green Bay. 7, Los Angeles. 8, Dallas Cowboys. 9, Minnesota. And 10, Denver Broncos. These are the teams that I think were notable snubs.
The Colts.
That could have a debate. 49ers, the Washington football team, the Tennessee Titans, the Indianapolis Colts, the New Orleans Saints, the Chargers, and the Cardinals.
I think the Niners should be in there.
Over who?
The Cowboys.
Fair enough.
So which team do you think got snubbed? Which team do you think needs to be replaced? You just mentioned the Cowboys for the 49ers.
I think the Niners.
Agree.
I think the Niners are OD. When healthy, I think they're OD.
Yeah,
I personally feel like the 49ers have a top 5 roster in the NFL.
Yep. They do. They're like, I think besides like having a rookie quarterback, but even then Jimmy G, I think is still good. Like aside from that spot, their roster from top to bottom is top 5.
Secondary, they could be a little bit better.
For Verrett the record,
Verrett is underrated as hell.
For the record, the 49ers, I'll just talk about how PFF ranks this. Mm-hmm. PFF just collects their grades on the players and then mixes they just mix it, they just match it. So basically what they're saying is that this past season, players on the Denver Broncos graded better than players on the 49ers.
A lot of the guys were hurt. Okay,
exactly.
I get it. Okay. So
but that's how they do it. So I personally feel like the 49ers are a top 5 roster in the NFL. I think they have a better roster top to bottom than Baltimore. I think they have a better roster top to bottom than Buffalo. Cleveland is debatable, but Cleveland really made some great changes this past season. Tennessee Titans, I see it because the Titans, their defense is still a major question mark, their secondary specifically. So I can see why. Indianapolis, you can make the argument they should be there, but realistically, they have an average secondary. They don't have a number 1 receiver, right? They don't have a great tight end.
Who was 10 again?
Denver, baby.
Denver. They're going off of Carson Wentz in 2020, which was abysmal.
Oh, yeah. If we're talking about 2017.
The Colts, outside of Darius Leonard, don't have a linebacker. And Okiki, they don't have a linebacker. They just lost Anthony Walker to the Browns.
They have a decent defensive line.
Yeah, they lost Danico Autry and they lost Justin Houston.
I want your unbiased answer.
I'll try my best.
I have 2 questions. Is Baltimore's roster really better than the Rams?
That's debatable.
I'm gonna say yes off.
Especially with Matthew Stafford. And I know they're probably like Matthew Stafford coming in. Like
I'm gonna 100% backtrack. The answer is no. The Rams are absolutely loaded
now
on.
They have a way better
One
quarterback.
Thing that is not talked about is that they lost John Johnson.
You know they got Deshaun Jackson, right?
He barely.
And that's okay with him being the third option.
He's tough
there.
though, but he's just
Van
doesn't
Jefferson.
play.
They got Tutu Atwell
Correct.
too.
If he plays,
I mean, you look at their roster. I mean, you still Jalen Ramsey, Taylor Rapp, Darius Williams.
Wait, who got Deshaun Jackson?
The Rams.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
Yeah.
If he plays,
and with
it's
Matty
sick.
Staffy.
Yo, he's gonna what?
Bro,
The
Deshaun.
Rams' weakness is their linebacking core.
Correct.
And that's pretty much it. Like, you look at their offensive line, Andrew Whitworth, Rob Harvenstein,
Safeties,
Austin Corbett, their center, Brian Allen, that could be better. Safeties, yeah, that is a question mark.
Especially with the fact that they lost John Johnson to the Browns.
And they lost Brandon Staley. So,
that's a fact.
That's true.
And, my second question, I need your unbiased. I
will
answer.
try as hard as I can.
Am I bugging for thinking Washington could have a better roster than Denver?
So it's funny that you say that because I put Washington over Dallas. I feel like
they have a better roster.
I don't think Dallas should be in there. I don't think Dallas should be in there.
Personally, if I had to give one quarrel,
but I was putting for Dallas. I had the Niners in, so
I'm putting Dallas for. That's fair. I couldn't take out 2 teams. Dallas was the only one, but there was 2 teams that I would put in over them. It was Washington and it was San Fran.
Yeah.
So it's
you go.
So Dallas is the defense. They did nothing to address it. They really didn't do anything draft day. We screwed them over by taking Surtain. They signed Keanu Neal, but that was it. They really should have went hard body at trying to get Verrett. They should have probably already made a signing of Steven Nelson and or Sherman. It's like they've done nothing to help that defense. You lose Sean Lee to retirement. Van Der Esch has been an injury concern since he's come into the league. Jalen Smith is really that only dude that you can really rely on defensively.
Secondary's still bad.
It's not just bad. It's horrible.
Boy, stink.
I'm Quandre Diggs, right? That's his name.
They lost Aldon Smith too,
which is not gonna kill them, but obviously that is
he was good
a
for
presence.
So
on
they're banking on that offense.
I'm blanking. DeMarcus Lawrence, that's his name, correct? Mm-hmm. He is definitely really solid on that defensive line. But he's still getting up there in age, and you need a secondary in the NFL. There's just no way around it. And if you're expecting Dak to come in and be the gunslinger that he was last year, you don't know if he could do that, especially after coming off a broken leg. You're asking Dak to do
ankle.
I apologize. Yeah, lower extremity injury. Regardless, it is just something that you don't want to have to rely on him to be the savior of your squad. And you look at Washington, they have arguably the best defense in the league outside of Tampa Bay. You could even compare. It is a debate between Tampa Bay and Washington, in my opinion. Steelers fell off a little bit because that secondary is not as strong as Washington's and the Buccaneers. But offensively, you bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick to pair with now you got Curtis Samuel in there with Terry McLaurin, who's one of the more not talked about receivers in the NFL.
Scary Terry.
Curtis Samuel, Adam Humphries. Drafted Diami Brown.
Logan Thomas, who was very good last season.
They also added William Jackson to that secondary. And Jamin Davis.
And Antonio Gibson, who's only going to get better. I think the touchdowns go down, but I think the yardage goes up. This Washington football team as a whole is better than Dallas.
You're telling me Washington should be in the top 10.
They should be.
I'll say this right now. Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Cleveland, Buffalo, Baltimore, they're locks. to be fine.
Locks.
I think Minnesota are locks to be in the top 10. Rams are locked to be a top 10.
Correct.
I have problems with the Packers, Cowboys, and Broncos. We already established.
Well, you're not high on the Packers.
He's been low on
the 49ers should be over Dallas, right? But I'll even go as far to say the 49ers do have a better roster top to bottom than the Green Bay Packers.
I agree.
And I think is anybody I mean, Aaron Rodgers, who's so great, can't even take them over the top of the 49ers because they have that great of a roster.
That is
I agree. The Niners have a better roster than the Green Bay
So
Packers.
I'll say the 49ers are better than the Packers roster-wise, who might not even have Aaron Rodgers. Just for your information, a reporter asked Aaron Rodgers, because he's at the Suns game right now, if he's committed, if he's going to be in Green Bay, and he said, we'll see.
Phoenix.
So Rodgers gave a non-committal answer to being back in Green Bay, so they might have Jordan Love. But 49ers have a better roster than Green Bay. I agree. Washington has a better roster than Dallas. Now it's really on Denver. Are you taking Denver's roster over the Chargers? I would go Denver.
Correct.
Yes, as a
so
whole.
you're putting Denver over Green Bay.
Because
I think if you take Aaron out, because I think when people love Green Bay, they just think of Aaron. But if you take Aaron out,
I don't know why Arizona's so low. J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones, Buda
I forgot
Baker,
about them, honestly.
Isaiah Simmons. I think he's gonna have a better second year. Their secondary sucks. Like Arizona's secondary is gonna be bad, but their offensive line, they were one of the best pass blocking teams last year. They got DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green is there, Christian Kirk. And I don't think they're going to be that bad. Top 10, I would probably say not. I would hold off on that.
Top 15?
Top 15, yeah. I think the Chargers and the Cardinals should be top 15. You got the Saints. They really just lost Drew Brees, right?
Yeah.
So
it's just a quarterback thing.
I would hesitate to put them top 10.
Top 15?
I think it's really on the Colts to really be in that top 10. Do I think the Colts have a better roster top to bottom than Denver? Maybe because their offensive line puts them over. Because Denver's offensive line, they have a lot of names that we go, wow, he's pretty good.
Solid.
But as a whole, their offensive line ranked one of the worst.
Yep.
Okay.
So we can't really go by the names.
Fair enough.
So the Colts, because of their offensive line, could be up there.
What
but
would be
Denver,
your last three? 7, 8, 9, 10.
Look, I mean, I said
the five already.
This is my list, and this is not in order. This is just my top 10. Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Cleveland, Buffalo, Baltimore, San Francisco, a Washington football team, the Rams, the Vikings, and then 10, honestly, I think I would go with Denver. Because let's just compare them versus the Titans. Denver has I think they have a top 3 secondary in the NFL.
Their defense is better.
I'd be honest, best.
Their defense is better than Tennessee's.
By far.
Offensive line goes to Tennessee, weapons goes to Tennessee, quarterback goes to Tennessee, running back goes to Tennessee.
But Denver's offense isn't bad.
It's not bad. It's just that we don't have a slinger.
It's just Tennessee has Derrick Henry, who's the best running back in the league.
They have Julio,
AJ Brown, Anthony Firkser, who I think is going to have a breakout year.
Let me ask you, is the gap from Denver's defense bigger than the gap from the Titans' offense to Denver's offense? Because that would dictate where we go.
The defense is significant. I think the offense is also significant. But what ultimately wins you games is defense, which is why I lean Denver.
Okay. That's where we'll put Denver, because that 10 spot is tricky.
Because right now, I personally think,
I don't know, man. The Titans won a lot of games with just offense, no defense.
And I agree, but it's not going to get them.
They got Julio.
It's not going to get them deep into a playoff run, unfortunately.
And Washington, with the best defense, almost missed it because of no offense.
But almost beat. I wouldn't say almost.
And
they had a really good game against the Buccaneers. They made the Buccaneers struggle.
But their offense was good that game.
For sure.
I'll say this, though. Denver versus the Colts. Denver just has Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant. They have better weapons than the Colts. The Colts, I think, just have an offensive line and defensive line, and that's even a question mark over and linebacking core over the Broncos. But secondary, no way. Saints, Broncos.
You're saying you're taking Colts defensive line over ours?
That's why I said it's questionable, because you got Vaughn Miller, Chubb,
Shelby.
They're amazing, but Chubb and Miller don't stay healthy.
Yeah,
Miller has had one season in his career.
Yeah, but we know the NFL.
Chubb has had one season.
And he's getting up there in age though too.
I agree with you there.
And that was an injury late into his career.
Very true, but Chubb was just an all-star.
I
Pro Bowl, excuse me.
And
but
that's why
Miller.
I agree.
We need both of them.
But the Colts, DeForest Buckner, he's made
amazing.
Such a difference.
Are you going to say Buckner's the best defender out of the two teams?
I would go healthy Miller.
I think only healthy Miller's over.
Healthy Miller.
Correct.
That's only
correct.
He's only one
I agree.
But Denver, I think roster-wise over the Colts.
So you got Denver right now so far.
I think over the Saints, the Titans. That's where
close.
I struggle with.
Close.
Because the Titans and their defense is not talented. Like Bud Dupree, they got Danico Autry, Jeffrey Simmons, Harold Landry. You also got Jaron Brown.
Just drafted
Kevin
Caleb
Byrd.
Farley.
Yeah, they have Rashawn Evans. I think he's the linebacker on their team as well. Caleb Farley, Janoris Jenkins, Kenny Vaccaro, Amani Hooker, who I think is going to be good now that
Kevin Byrd is still there, right?
Oh yeah, he is there. Kenny Vaccaro left. Amani Hooker is taking his place. I think he's going to do good taking his place. And Kevin Byard. like talent wise, they are
It's
there.
close, dude.
They just didn't really play well last year on defense, but talent wise, they are there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm taking out Denver, I'm only taking them out for Tennessee.
So you basically
I can't argue too much.
Yeah.
So
there,
you basically
truthfully.
have Titans and Broncos at your 10-11.
Yeah, because you look at Tennessee offensive line that
Very good.
over Denver, weapons over Denver.
Easily.
Is their offensive line built like that?
Yeah. They are one of the best in the league. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Let me look
Running
it up.
back way
Easily.
over, quarterback play way over.
Yeah.
Like
The offense,
it's just,
they got it.
It's just hard to rank that. But Denver does have a great roster. They just need a quarterback.
Mr. Teddy.
The thing about that is, if Teddy's our quarterback, I'm confident in us winning games. If Drew Lock's our quarterback, thing is,
You won't win.
going into the season, I'm not as confident as I am in Teddy to win games.
That's true.
That being said, I want Drew Lock to start because I want to see if he could ever reach the potential that all these guys say that he could reach.
So if Aaron goes to Denver, where does they go up? How high do they go up?
we could
Super Bowl contenders.
No, I mean like in the rankings.
We
Wow.
are, in my opinion, I'm putting us above the Browns.
Top 8.
You got him in top 8.
Yeah.
You got him top 4.
No,
which
I
is-
don't think so because the Browns, they have the best offensive line in the league.
They do have the best offensive
The
line.
Broncos
are
going to be a bottom 21 probably.
I don't
I'll
think-
be
I don't-
bottom 15 at least.
I don't think so. Truthfully, I feel like Risner's really good. I feel as if Garrett Bowles obviously is one of the best left tackles in the league.
Cushenberry's not good.
Cushenberry's not good, but he was a rookie last year, so I'm gonna cut him some slack. He was a 4th rounder, so I didn't expect the world in him already. It took Garrett Bowles 4 years to figure it out and be a true animal in this league.
Yeah, you're right.
Bucks up by 8.5.
Suns up.
I mean, yeah, sorry, Suns.
Yeah.
And Glasgow, he's a solid pickup from the Lions too. So it's like we have the personnel. We need a right tackle, truthfully.
Bobby Massey's the right tackle now.
And that's where I feel like the hole is right now. But I'm not gonna count our offensive line, especially if we have Rodgers in there.
Yeah.
Denver.
I think we went over the PFF top 10 list. So right now, it's halftime of the NBA Finals Game 1. Suns are up 57-49.
Giannis
Ayton has
stat sheet
10
is killing.
points. Booker has 16. Paul has 11. Mikal has 9. The guy that y'all said has no offense is about to go off for 18 points tonight.
We didn't say he had no offense.
He's not shooting.
just-
80.
yeah,
Brooke
he's just-
Lopez had 11. Middleton has 12. Holiday has 4. Tucker has 5. I saw him hit a 3. I've been watching the game a little bit.
Really? Okay, cool.
Giannis
What's
has
Giannis
10
doing?
points and 9 rebounds.
This dude fills up the stat sheet like quickly.
So,
Awesome.
we'll see who wins the
MJ
game.
would
We'll
kill
see who
him.
wins the game. So if you guys have been listening to us for this long,
Shout
we
out.
appreciate you guys. I want to say this real quick, man. The love that y'all been showing is phenomenal. I'm talking straight into the audience in the
I
camera
thought
right
you
now.
was talking to us.
Yeah. 1.3K views on a full episode. That's our most ever. Our downloads have been 100 plus our last couple of episodes. You guys have been killing it. And you are just staring into the soul of the audience right now. So if you guys have made it this far, thank you so much for supporting us. We appreciate you guys. Of course, all of our dreams right here is to do this for a living, hopefully one day. At least I
Real.
hope that,
For real.
this is what we love to do. So, and you guys are making that happen step by step, and that's why we appreciate you guys so much. So thank you for that. And if you stuck this long, it's almost about to be a 3-hour show. Don't forget to rate and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast, on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod. And Thursday, we have a special guest, Chilltown32. He has over 200,000 followers on TikTok. He is nicknamed OG. It's going to be a great show. He's going to come on and talk about some of the history of the NBA. We're going to interview him for a little bit. It's going to be a great show. So thank you guys for supporting us, and we'll see you guys next time.